What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to your match review for Chelsea 3, ES Tunis 0. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gents. And just before we start, and I'm going to start off like this because I feel like it. Some of you motherfuckers in chat, some of you cunts in chat are a little too comfortable. Are you a little too comfortable talking the way you talk in chat? I'm just saying. Motherfuckers, you better shut the fuck up or you better watch yourself. I swear to God, bro. Y'all a little too comfortable talking the way you talk in chat. Don't let me catch you. I swear to God. Do not talk to me like that in real life. I swear. Man, some of y'all motherfuckers are rude as shit. Rude as shit. I hope you don't talk to your mothers like that. Anyways, for the rest of you, big up. Big up. Listen, I know I'm late. Shit happens. Life happens. I'm always late. You should know this already. This gives you time to grab a coffee. This gives you time to sit back, relax, you get here on time. It's always nice to be somewhere on time. Why? Because it gives you time to settle down and do what you got to do, grab a newspaper, grab a snack, all that shit. It gives you enough time to smash the like button. It does. It does. Quite literally gives you enough time to smash the like button. But hey, for those of you guys who aren't being little disrespectful cunts in the chat, big up to you guys. For those of you who are, big up to you, but also fuck you. But also fuck you. It's not a surprise at this point, guys. Yeah, I'm late. I'm always late. But to be fair, part of it is also waiting for some of you guys to show up as well. So big up to every single one of you. Let's go ahead and, yeah, like I said, smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Helps us out tremendously. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description. I'm accompanied by the panel of Real Chris, Curry Pirate, and myself, Marshall DBDX. And memberships, 4 different tiers starting 99p. Guys, bear with me. I am on 3.5 hours of sleep, give or take. I was at the game yesterday. The game was, pardon me, 9 p.m. my time. It was hot as shit. It was almost 100 degrees out towards 6 p.m., 7 p.m. It did cool off as the day went on. I was working outside for most of the day. Not outside. I was in my car, but I was in that heat, in and out of my car for most of the day. And the players obviously playing in that heat. It was insane. Nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you in the UK, that's almost 38 degrees Celsius. So it is it was a rough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. You can see in the vlog, because if you haven't watched the vlog, you're not a true fan. But also check out the vlog, because I did upload the vlog last night, early this morning. It's on the channel. You can see, what we witnessed in, what we witnessed at the stadium, plus how hot and sweaty and disgusting I was the whole time, just because the humidity is gross, bro. Humidity is gross. So anyways, that being said, yeah, you can check out the match day vlog that I uploaded early in the morning for some of you guys. It's in there. It's on the Casually FC thing. But yeah, I'm on 3.5 hours of sleep. See, this is what I mean. I'm losing my fucking mind just because I got home. Philly is 2 hours away from me, so I got home around 2 in the morning, give or take. Because obviously getting out of the stadium is a big traffic jam. If you've ever been to a live game, it takes forever to get out of the stadiums from the parking spot. And so, yeah, I think I got home at 2:30 in the morning. I had to get up at 6 for work. So yeah, this and that, doing all that, I just didn't get enough sleep. So bear with me if I have brain fart moments like I have been so far with this intro. But yeah, let's go over the match real quick. A little quick summary before we go to the panel and discuss our opinions on the match. Yeah, so ES Tunis, Chelsea. It was the match that was going to decide who goes to the next round of the Club World Cup. And like that, Chelsea do advance into the next round. That lineup that was put out, I'm not going to lie, very, very questionable lineup. Very, very heavily rotated. in the sense of Nkunku was in that 10 position, no Cole Palmer, KDH in the right wing instead of a Pedro Neto or a Nani on that side. You had Tosin and Benoit in the back, Achinpong coming in as well. So no Reese, no Colwell, no Chalaba. Malo Gusto at left back, no Cucurella. You know, it was just a heavily rotated side. We did have our options in the bench. And when you got to see the game and stuff, you kind of maybe understood why the choices that were made, but it was risky nonetheless. And I didn't feel comfortable going into that game once Jimmy showed me the lineup. It was kind of one of those like, crap, I don't know about this one. But yeah, we went in there after the great march of Tunis ended, because if you watch the vlog, you know that was insane to see in person. We went in there and I watched the game. Me and my father were there, so went there, watched the game, and yeah, Chelsea was a little shaky in the beginning. You know, Achinpong, for one, had some moments of, like, you know, lapse of concentration. Looked like the game was a little too much for him at moments. He looked nervous for the most part. I think the occasion kind of got to him. The atmosphere kind of got to him. Oh, I will say, yo, Chelsea fans, you guys suck. We were the majority of the people there, because after the fact, we noticed that we were the majority, and I couldn't even get anyone to chant with me. A lot of you guys love to sit on your hands, and it's sad to see. So a lot of Chelsea fans, whether in the States or in the UK, you guys suck. You guys just suck. I'll just be so real with y'all. Chelsea fans, match going fans. They don't cheer. They don't do anything. Like,
they do cheer. You just don't hear them. They cheer when we score.
You know what, Chris? You might be right, because I was in the Tunis end, and they were loud as shit. So
it seemed like you guys outnumbered again.
We weren't. The only time I heard Chelsea fans was in the 70th minute on the other end of the stadium. Right, because that's where the Chelsea fans were, but it wasn't like packed out. But the majority of the fans at the stadium were Chelsea fans, but there was a good portion of the Tunis fans, and they were really loud, despite there being more Chelsea fans. But yeah,
there was more Chelsea fans. It didn't look that way when I saw in the stadium, but
no, there were more Chelsea fans. Like when you look at the vlog, me and Jimmy thought,
you done another vlog? God.
Yeah. Me, Jimmy, Steve, we all thought that there was more Tunis fans, but once you get into the stadium and you saw like how much more blue there was versus Tunis fans, then I was like, oh, okay, no, there's more Chelsea fans. But you couldn't tell based off the atmosphere, because Chelsea fans don't like to cheer, they don't like to do anything. They'll clap if you do something close, but they literally don't. They don't sing, they don't do anything. It was rough. It was rough. I tried to start so many chants and people just looked at me, and I'm like, why are you looking at me? What do you not know what to do in a game when you go to a match? Like, do you not see what fans do, like at the bridge or at the stadiums? Like, they cheer their team, right? Like, it was just really weird, really weird. But regardless, Chelsea fans are just quiet as usual. It was a library for us. But despite the fact, in the beginning of the match, you saw Tunis kind of had a bit of momentum, maybe had maybe one or two chances. I don't know. There weren't clear-cut chances. They weren't really making much out of it. For the most part, Chelsea were controlling the game, and we were attacking and putting pressure on them. I think Delap had a brilliant performance overall. Tosin was controlling the game from the back. Benoit as well, I didn't think had a bad performance. I think some of the fouls that he got were the referee just being a little too soft, to be honest. But it is what it is. Some referees will work in your favor, some don't. Achinpong, really shaky first 20 minutes, and then he kind of grew into the game, stopped making as many mistakes or stopped looking as nervous. Malo Gusto kind of making up for that as well on his end. Even though he made some mistakes, he definitely looked a lot better, and he made up for any mistakes he made with his recovery pace. So he, again, it's Tunis, guys, so do take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, obviously. But he had a decent performance from what we saw. Noni, people are going to complain about Noni unless he gets a goal and assist. And to be honest, he was doing the best he could to, create chances or get into the box. I mean, at times he was being double man marked on that left flank. So again, he's not a left winger, and even for not being a left winger, he did have a lot of take-ons and successful dribbles, and just nothing came of it. So like, I'm not gonna we're not gonna really bash it on Noni. Obviously, a good winger performance gets you goals and assists. He didn't get that, but it doesn't mean it's a shit winger performance in my opinion. And I was really surprised. Noni is actually very talkative and very demanding when he's on the pitch. So I said this on the vlog. I wouldn't be surprised that in a few years from now, if he's still at the club, he could potentially be one of the captains, because he is like very, very talkative on the pitch in terms of you know, asking players to pass the ball or asking players to move in certain areas and stuff. Like, yeah. So there's that. Liam looked strong, was causing problems the whole time. Enzo Fernandez was man-marked the fuck out of the whole entire first and second half. But anytime he did, you know, lose his man marker, was able to create some chances and look dangerous. You know, made up for some of his dispossessions by regaining possession. Lavia looked like Lavia. You look like ADH on the right wing, obviously out of place. Didn't really do much. Wasn't really a dangerous flank to even begin with. And yeah, I think I named pretty much every player that, you know, started that game. And overall, and Jorgensen obviously didn't have much to do. But yeah, that first half, very controlling game. Didn't look like, you know, we were gonna have any trouble. But we needed a goal. And eventually, I think it was a set piece that I think Liam won and Enzo took, and then Enzo finds Tosin Adarbayo in the box, gets a header, and boom, we go 1-0 up. Now, I decided to step away because the first half is about to end, so I decided, okay, let me go use the bathroom. And as I go to use the bathroom, I turn around and see a moment where I'm seeing, you know, Enzo chip the ball to Liam, and I'm like, this feels like a goal's gonna come. And Liam Delap, I mean, you could make the argument the keeper should have done better. But honestly, I think because of how quickly Liam turned around and shot and got the ball off of his foot, I think didn't give the keeper the time to react quick enough to it. So I think it's 50-50. You could say it was the keeper not being good enough. You could say is Liam just quick reactions, right? As a striker, instinctual reactions almost. But yeah, he gets his first goal as a Chelsea player, which is good to see. This is his second start as a Chelsea player as well. And, you know, he looked good. He looked like a striker, which we need, and a number 9. So, I mean, I look forward to seeing what else he can do in that, you know, in that 9 position as a Chelsea number 9. But we move on to the second half. You know, we're 2-0 up, and Moresca continues on with the same lineup. And as the game was going, you can kind of see, okay, you know, he put out this lineup because this is a lineup that was able to hold off enough. Because listen, guys, if we drew, we qualify into. Oh, I forgot to mention Nkunku too. Yeah, Nkunku likes to hog the ball.
Come on, here's some positive, man. Holy
crap, this guy loves to hog the ball. Like the amount of spaces and through balls that he could have, you know, done, but he just dribble. I'm gonna take the ball here, I'm gonna take the ball there, and it's like, it's so frustrating. I mean, he looked a little bit more comfortable, maybe because he was playing more as a shadow striker, and we have an actual striker, which is more of his position, I guess. But like, it's good that he knows how to, you know, control the ball. Like in terms of possession, he's good at keeping possession, but doesn't do much with it, man. It's just because he doesn't let go of the ball. And to an extent, Noni was doing the same thing in some instances as well. Not as bad as Nkunku in that first half. Going on to the second half, no changes were made. And we saw what I was thinking, like, okay, clearly he put out this lineup because he thought this was a good enough lineup to hold out for a draw and potentially win the game. And if we do need to bring on the big guns, we're 0-0 or whatever, you bring on the big guns and you can close off the game, right? But it was enough to at least hold off the result, which they did. And to be fair, a lot of players that were taken off were on yellows as well, including, I think Cucurella was on a yellow, I think Caicedo was on the yellow, Palmer maybe was on the yellow, I don't remember. But you know what? Most of those players didn't even come on. Actually, none of them came on. And they got actual full games rest now, which is great to see, especially with the heat that was there. It makes so much more sense now that, you know, it was better maybe they didn't play, just to get better rest and really recover and, you know, not force anything. So go out again with the same lineup. Again, Chelsea controlling the match. We finally get substitutions. Essugo comes on first. And who else came on at the same time? I think, let me see. Essugo came on and Tariq George. Oh, no, Mark Guiu. Yeah. Mark Guiu and Essugo came on. And yeah, I mean, Essugo in the 30, he got about 30 minutes of game time, which was good to see. He looked good. Didn't look out of place, really.
Who look good?
Essugo.
Huh?
Oh, shut up. Essugo looked good. He didn't look out of place.
You
know, he's not gonna come into this game and score you goals from halfway
Santos
or outside the box and stuff.
Looks meh.
Okay, you guys are being ridiculous. Okay, anyways, Essugo comes on. He looks good. He doesn't look out of place. You know, keeps the rhythm going. Had some good runs as well. He made, I think he had one decent run where he beats like 2 or 3 Tunis players. Again, context, it is Tunis, ladies and gents. I understand that. So he came on. He looked comfortable for the most part. He didn't look, he kind of knew, it almost looked like he knew exactly where to go, where to be, and what positions to take and stuff. So it kind of looks like he understands the system a little bit more than, you know, Santos, who we're going to talk about in a moment. But yeah, he came on and he looked pretty decent. And who else? Guiu didn't really do much from what I saw. Very, very quiet game from him. I don't think he really got too many chances to really show. And then 10 minutes later, Tariq George came on and Andre Santos, who everyone's been asking about. Enzo Fernandez comes on and Noni Madueke came off, I should say. And listen, I really wanted to see Santos play. I was happy to see him finally come on. But he started off very shaky. I think the first 3 balls he touched, he lost possession. And so I think part of the problem is the fact that he in the French league
3 times the entire game.
Yeah, and it was the first 3 touches of the
Got
game.
muscled a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, so yeah, he starts off the game. He kind of doesn't look up to scuff. You know, he did lose possession in maybe like the first 3 touches of 3 chances he had the ball in the game. Kind of, I think what for him, it's mostly adapting to tighter pitch now. I think whenever I watch Ligue 1, I think the pitches are bigger, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but it is a fact. The pitches are bigger. You have more space. You are allowed to have a little bit of a heavier touch. But every time in this game Santos touched the ball, the Tunis players were on him. They weren't allowing him to breathe. Nothing. So I think for him, it's just adapting into the system and getting used to it. As the game went on, just kept it simple. And eventually, with that simplicity, finds himself in a position to pass the ball to Tariq George. Tariq George takes a pot shot. You know, a better keeper saves that, but we'll take it. George gets his goal, and you know, puts Chelsea up 3-0. Mamadou Sarr also came on, looked all right. You know, nothing spectacular, just calm, simple passing back and forth. You know, nothing outrageous. But overall game, the game was done 3-0, hot weather, and I'm happy. Chelsea now qualify into the next round. They go up against Benfica, and then if they beat Benfica, they face either one of Botafogo or Palmeiras, which is going to be a crazy game. I'll tell you that right now for free.
Watch that game.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a really, really good game. And yeah, I mean, a lot of talking points, obviously, in this game that everyone's going to probably want to bring up. But overall, like, it was a good game. I think tactically, Moresca took some risks that a lot of us didn't like. But at the end of the day, it paid off. And we got to see players that needed rest get a whole, you know, game's worth of rest. And Now, rather than having played a game every 3 days, now some of these players will have had, what, 6 days rest? About a week's rest until
Something like
Saturday?
that. Yeah, something. Oh, we play Saturday.
Yeah, we play
Okay.
Saturday, I believe. And
It's Saturday at 9 p.m.
yeah, it's good for
Oh,
some of the
thank God.
players.
I got
for
scared
sure.
when you said 9 p.m., like 9 p.m. American time or something. Actually,
No,
that
I
wouldn't
think
be too
it's
bad.
6
9
p.m. my time.
Okay.
Or, yeah, I don't remember.
Can't be
Well,
6, bro. You're not 3 hours ahead of us.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
we're 5 hours
It's in
difference.
Charlotte, so
where
it's
you-
probably going to be at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
I think it is 4 p.m. actually. You're
That's
right.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad time at
can't
all.
complain about
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Yeah. Scott's right. So yeah, that was a long-winded summary. I'm sorry, guys. It's just, again, I'm fucking exhausted. I can't brain quick. So I'm gonna stop talking. CP, your thoughts on the game, bro?
When I saw that lineup,
Yeah, we lost it. We all lost
I
it.
had the beauty of
We were
not seeing
just
the
like,
lineup.
God damn,
I think I had the beauty of not seeing it.
laugh.
I was already saying he's not taking
I
it
just had to
seriously.
laugh, yo. I was like, "Oh, we're on fuckery. Okay, we're on fuckery today." Because first I thought Achapong might be left back, also Gusto, so pairs. KDH being my right winger, you know what I'm saying, my baller. You know,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I thought KDH was gonna be the 10, and then it was gonna be Madueke on the right, and then Noni. But cool. Glad Delap started. I could kind of see what we were trying to do in terms of, I think KDH had 1 or 2 crosses in the first half alone. Like back post kind of situation. So just had any awareness, would have been possible chances. Also, KDH had a chance himself, which wasn't really on target. At first, I thought it was on target and someone cleared it, but it was, I think, going wide, but someone cleared it anyways, to be honest. But Lavia was decent. I didn't think the center backs had much to do. Gusto had
No.
one of his better games,
Yeah.
I won't lie, and that's at left back, so still want him to leave. Josh kind of was okay the first 10 minutes, but as the game progressed, he really got better, so showing why I'd rather have him than Gusto, to be honest. And, you know, Enzo doing Enzo things, getting 2 assists, great cross for Tosin, who has scored his 4th goal technically for this season, which is apparently his highest he scored in a season. So
I think he got 16 assists so far this season now. Enzo Fernandez.
no, I know, but I'm saying Tosin. This is the high, most he
Oh,
scored.
Tosin, my bad.
Yeah, apparently 4 goals in a
Yeah.
season is the most he scored. So that's great. You're 6'5" for a reason. So thank you for doing that job. And then great job by Delap for first Enzo for the pass, and then Delap for turning his man and then creating space, and then the shot, the shooting. Goalkeeper wasn't the best, not gonna lie, but I'm never gonna discount a goal. A goal's a goal. Even great goalkeepers sometimes make bad mistakes too. So I'm just hopefully this, he scored his first goal for Chelsea, and long may it continue. And Nani was okay. He was beating his man for the most part, but his decision making, for fuck's sake. And then in terms of substitutions, I would say I if we're 2-0 up, I would have just subbed off Enzo first, or subbed off Enzo and Lavia together, because I know Lavia is injury prone, so maybe put on Essugo and Santos at the same time, to be honest. Other than that, yeah, the subs, Tyreek did his job. He got a goal, beat his man, shouldn't have gone in, but hey, goal's a goal once again. Andre and Essugo looked okay. Mark Guiwi provides the press and still kind of the physicality that the team needs in general. So yeah, I think
Mafia. I got there a little late, to be honest.
You know what I
I
really
was at the
liked about
Xfinity Live. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, CP.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like,
go
what I
ahead.
really liked about Delap's goal, man, it's the way he held us back. and used his strength and then turned and just scored that goal.
Dude,
I don't know. I don't think I've seen Jackson.
movement.
I may like forgotten, but I don't think I've seen Jackson do stuff like that. I know.
No,
it's
dude,
against
I just
well,
love
we could think
that
about.
he has proper positioning. Like the way he watches the line, the way he turns a man as a striker, like the whole thought
and
process
just quick
is like,
thinking
yes,
as well. With
this is what a striker's supposed to do. Thank you for having a striker's
Nope,
mindset.
CP, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
What?
Nope, you're not allowed to rate.
But no, I'm not like.
No,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
any of
he's
us
the
are
next
like.
best thing. I'm just saying
like-
this is what it happens when you
Make
have
him
a
sound
striker.
like he's world class. All right,
Yeah, no,
All right,
this
calm
is what
down.
happens when you have a striker playing striker. Like it's amazing when you
Yeah,
have like a person who's like played that position all his life.
you're not allowed. You're not allowed to say anything positive about Delap. All right,
So
not until he
Also,
scores 29 goals.
good. Yeah, like it's not like he's always been in great positions.
Yeah,
It's just that he hasn't
Had a many chances.
scored goals in the past 2 games, and some of those chances were tough shots. So I'm not gonna do him like that. I would say one thing. I wouldn't even say it's a bad thing. I remember there was a chance.
Was it offside?
The second, yes, thank you, Chris. It was the offside
In the
one.
first goal.
Yeah.
Where Delap fucking power shot it. Like, I'm not even mad at him being
The
offside.
defender did get it though, but
Like, I'm not even mad at him being offside. I'm just like, bro, did you have to sky it? Like,
I saw on a
goal,
replay,
bro.
and I think a defender did get it, kicked it.
No,
he
the
did
defender
not.
didn't get it. He kicked it like he
I swear
he
got it,
kicked
didn't
the and then kicked
he?
the ball. So like
I
he
think
didn't.
he
connect with
kicked the
ball
lap into the ball. Yeah, that was it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, first. But yeah, other than that, good game by him. Cost me 30 million, and yeah.
Oh, I thought you
Shame
meant
that.
IRL. I was like, what?
That's a shame. That's probably gonna be our
Damn,
like, only
CP.
striker signing.
Why are you making these high baller bets, bro?
Yeah, no, didn't. It's like, well, cost us. There you go. Sorry, cost us 30 mil.
Yeah, I get you.
So.
I mean, Chris. I mean,
Um,
actually, yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I'll just make it short. Like I thought I didn't see the lineup like you guys. I fell asleep before it, so
Of course.
seeing it afterwards,
It was late.
I'm
that makes
thinking
sense.
like Enzo did the right thing. Obviously, resting a lot of his players and just obviously
Yeah, in
having trust
hindsight, it
in-
looks better.
Yeah, of course. Having trust in Action Pong and Nkunku getting minutes for what surprised me. I can't lie. I don't know if any of you expect to see Nkunku
I
get
hate
minutes.
seeing Nkunku get
Like,
minutes, but it is what it is.
I'm thinking, does Nkunku stay another season at this point? I don't know. Like, he might get sold. We might swap him for Garnacho, yay. But
We'll discuss that.
yeah, of course. But yeah, like, I thought he did everything right. Enzo Moresca.
Moresca.
His lineup. I thought he did it right. Like, and like the few highlights I really liked about the players, like Action Pong. He did at the start, like, look like he's losing the ball because I didn't watch the full match, but like, he lost the ball a few times. But like him going forward, progressing with the ball, the confidence, like, I know it's against a weaker team, but he's a young player
Yeah.
with like not a lot of minutes to his game anyway. But he looked very good. He was probably like one of my favorite players to actually watch in that game actually overall. But yeah, like he had a great game. I thought like with Delap, like even just this tournament, he hasn't had a lot of chances, and in that game, he didn't really get a lot of chances. But like I said before, what I like about what Delap did, yeah, the way he held it, like that defender for his back and used his strength and just quickly shot. Yeah, the keeper could have done better, but I just think it was too quick and just left the keeper standing. But yeah, like I said, Madueke, he was a bit frustrating, but I thought Madueke was definitely trying things. It's just a very dominated game. I think we had like what?
He was
80%?
double marked.
Yeah, I think we had like 80% of the ball, and we had like Dewsbury Hall at right wing, and we had like Gusto at left back. We had Badi Chile at centre back. We had what's the name? Action Pong. None of our really main players except for like maybe Enzo, Madueke, I guess, and Delap. Those are really like I could say main play. Oh, and Lavia. I mean Lavia. I really like Lavia because the way he's on that ball, like they couldn't bully him off it at all, and I really like that. But I kind of expect that. But yeah, like also was pretty good. The way we finished in second place, and Flamingo
And
can
now we're
hold that.
getting Benfica.
We got
that
live,
side.
bro.
You got
Bro,
you
look,
got
look,
on the
look,
wrong
Fast
side.
4D chess room.
This is
and
bro,
Moresca,
bro. Here, bro. Look, this is the
Hilarious.
potential thing. This is the potential
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen
window
it.
that we
Gotcha.
could face, bro. This is so
it's,
nice.
We could still probably flop it, but like at least we had the
Nah, no way, bro. Look at this, bro. This is money. So the things that could change is this could be right here. It could be River Plate or Inter. This could be City or Juve, and I think this could be Salzburg,
Not very average,
Al
but-
Hilal, or Madrid. But I think that Madrid probably end up beating. We'll see. I mean, it depends, but we'll see. I think Madrid in the first, so I think it's probably gonna.
Come on, man. Chelsea to the
Al Hilal
final.
here.
England settings. Get to that
But
final.
this
lose it.
is the most likely outcome though, for our side. This
Yeah.
is cash money, bro.
Which is not bad. I mean,
We have no.
Wait, we can
excuses.
get. Wait, we got Man City. No. Wait, yeah.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
didn't
Man
know
City.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
no.
see
So
something
yeah.
different.
So whoever
Okay.
wins, City or Juve, end up going into our bracket. But if it's a draw, then I think Juve go through first. But I think
why do
City
I
beat
see
them.
Juventus on my side? Like the side we're looking
No,
at. Chelsea.
because so right now City and Juve are tied on points and on goal difference.
Right.
But City have a red card. So if it goes on fair play, if it's a draw, but I think City beat Juve. So they'll probably end up on our side as first.
yeah. So
Yeah,
depending on who wins on that one is.
But if
who
they,
can go
but
on
again,
that
if
side.
they draw, then we would get Juve instead of City.
Yeah, we can take City.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's a possibility, right? Like I think most of our expectations were we could probably get to the quarterfinal before we get eliminated. Which if we do, I'd be okay with that. You know,
I don't wanna lose to a weaker team,
Standards FC. All right, before Standards FC shows up in my chat, listen. Obviously, I want to win the whole thing, but I also need to be realistic and not deluded. Okay, I know what team we have. I know we don't have Prime Didier Drogba in front. I know we don't have fucking
we have
Robert
Delap now.
Sanchez Check in the back. Okay, like you can give him the concussion helmet. He's still not going to be Peter Cech. All right. So like that being said, I don't expect us to win it, but listen, if we can get to the quarterfinals with this bozo players in the team, then so be it. I'll take that, you know. And we walk out with some money. The players don't have to play a whole entire tournament before going into the Premier League. They have a little bit of a break. Cool. I think it's a win-win either way, right? But regardless, like if we get to the quarters, I don't want to hear people crashing out. I genuinely don't. Okay, there's no reason to crash out at that point.
No.
So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I guess. Let's just get this out of the way. Let's just start with the main talking point of this game, the main talking point of before the game and the whole entire tournament. Oh, he hasn't played in the last 2 games. I'm worried about Santos's future. Yada 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 yada. It was tiring, but we got to see him play, and I'm gonna be honest, like. I know there's a good player there. I'm not denying that. I know there's a good player there. But he doesn't look ready. He doesn't look ready. His performance was mid, in my opinion.
Oh, you're on by Santos.
Yep. I'm going to be honest. The performance was mid. A lot of people aren't going to tell you that, whether it be because of agendas they might have on him or whatever. Listen, I don't have agendas on any players for the most part. I thought the performance was mid. But I expect him to get better next time. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, a lot of players struggle in the beginning to adapt to this system. And as they play it more and they get more minutes, they will get better. I think Santos will get better. He will find his positioning. I think that's part of the problem, too. Like, when he first came on, those first 10 minutes or so, he was kind of more in the deep end. He was playing more of like in the 6 or on the defensive end. And then I don't know whether it be Moresca telling him to move up or whatever. Once he moved up into the more attacking thirds, he looked a little bit more comfortable and he was keeping the ball ticking, really. That's what I wanted. At the end of the day, it's just like, yo, keep it simple. And eventually, that's what Josh Acheampong does. He keeps it simple. He doesn't overcomplicate anything. Keeps it simple, and that
Acheampong,
helps
bro.
enough to
Oh
be
my
consistent.
God, man. That guy, bro.
Acheampong in
Gusto
the
gotta watch
first
out,
20
bro.
minutes. Yeah, no, Gusto does need to watch out. Acheampong in the first 20 minutes was shaky, but once he settled into the game, he was solid. He was solid, which I expected. But in terms of Santos, he looked shaky in the first 10 minutes that he started playing, maybe 15 if you want to be like that. And then afterwards, you know, he looked like he was, all right, getting the pace of the game. He is vocal on the pitch. And he's small too. Like compared to the other players, like he's on the smaller end. So he has to really figure out.
Wait, who are you
know,
talking about? Santos?
Santos.
Because of height?
You know what's funny?
Turns
Santos
the height,
is 1
yeah.
inch taller than Caicedo.
Really? Because
Yes,
he looked
my-
tiny out there, man.
No, but
He
my
looked tiny out
point
there.
being, that's just because Caicedo is mad stocky because he's a DM.
Okay. That's probably what it is.
Santos has more of the box to box like
Yeah.
player build. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So he's gonna find his footing. But the thing is, again, he doesn't have necessarily that defensive dog in him. That's why he appears smaller. Like Caicedo be winning headers. Like his aerial
Yeah.
like that's what it is. As Santos wasn't winning the headers, and so that made him probably seem a lot shorter than he is. But he's only
Yeah,
1
he
inch
just
taller
le-
than.
he just-
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, he
TM.
seemed
He's
tiny.
5'11". He's 1 inch taller than Caicedo.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Yep.
he looked tiny out there. No, for sure.
I thought he was like
damn, I don't-
5'9".
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't think he was
I
this
agree with
small.
TM.
I
Yeah,
was surprised.
he needs to add some muscle, a bit more
Yeah,
muscle.
yeah, he's got to put some mass on and.
How old
and
is he?
we'll
Like
see. He'll
20?
get-
But this is the thing. I'm
21?
not.
21.
I'm not throwing
Yeah,
away
he's young.
Santos. I'm not throwing away Essugo or anything. Like these brothers, they need to learn. However, this proves to everybody that clearly this is what Moresca was seeing in training.
That's what I'm saying. Essugo was not even worse, bro. Like,
Yes, he was.
I don't know.
I
No,
thought
he
it was. I didn't
wasn't.
see what was he?
How?
Okay,
Like,
hold
this
up,
is-
stop. I don't
what
think.
did
Hold
you
up. I don't
see?
think. Hold up. I don't
What
think.
did you
Essugo-
see?
I
hold
think
up.
that's the point. But
I
Yeah,
no,
no, I don't know,
hold
I
up.
saw
I
highlights, I don't know.
don't think Essugo was trash. I just think he was whatever. Like I don't think he did anything great.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything trash. I think he was mid.
Like,
he was mid.
I'm literally looking at the
Yeah.
stats right now because
I
okay,
don't care
maybe
about
my
that. I
eyes
saw
deceived
my
me.
eyes.
Your
Like,
stat-
he was
yeah.
he was
I
he
saw
was
my
so
eyes too.
plainly
I'm
he's
a
so
highlight
plainly
mention.
average.
I
Like
didn't see nothing.
the issue with Essugo, and this isn't like an issue with him necessarily. It's more just the club for buying him because it's a guy in his like second full year of football, I think it is. They bought a guy who doesn't understand the system and is much more of your prototypical DM. Like the way he played yesterday was the way people think Caicedo plays. Where like defensively, I've got no issue with him. Like defensively, there's not a problem. He doesn't show for the ball like at all. Like you look at the difference between him and Santos in the
did.
game yesterday.
But
Santos,
he does the
no,
ball
No,
multiple
no,
times.
hold on.
No,
No,
he
the
did-
thing
he
is,
doesn't.
hold up.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
Essugo, hold on. Stop. Both of you are being very on either end of the spectrum. The reality is, he did like factually, he did show for the ball like one or twice, and he did get it, and he got a foul. I remember one time he received the ball on the half turn, ran forward, got a foul.
Yeah, he got
My
fouled.
point being though, like factually he did. However, he clearly is not good at it, right? And furthermore, he doesn't understand where to be to receive the ball in this system. He doesn't. He has no clue.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I will say on
that's
Essugo.
what I'm
That's
talking
I think Essugo was mid. People were acting like it was one of the like a disaster class performance.
No,
It
there was-
wasn't.
Oh, no,
It
no,
was
it
just
wasn't.
mid.
No,
He was just mid.
Like, I don't think it was terrible. I just think you can quite clearly see. I think it's more evident with him than Santos. Like I'm not saying Santos was levels clearer than him.
No,
I
because
think-
Santos is a better player. That's why.
I agree, but like I think it's just you see the small differences in terms of when they came on. For me, Santos is always looking for an opening to receive, even if he
Yes,
fucks
yes.
touched up or even if he lost the ball. He's all like
What is the age
you
difference
saw from
between both
Enzo
of them? I think
to
Santos is
begin
like what
with.
2 to 3 years.
I don't actually know. But like you
I
saw
think
from
he's
him,
2
he's
or
always
3.
like
They're the
showing
same
the
age,
ball.
I'm pretty
He's
sure.
trying to like find that opening.
Okay.
Whereas with Essugo, there was a couple times, but it's more of a case of like if he happens to be in space, he gets the ball. Which, like as I said, this more just comes from like you said, Arison, just understanding the
You know, he's
system
1 year older.
and him being 20 and him being in like his second full year of football. Like this isn't me crashing it on him because this is stuff he has to learn. It's just like you saw
Mhm.
that it's like this is something that's going to take
I think
him a while.
I think Essugo is gonna be Essugo's gonna be
I agree with
the
that, Scott.
I think Essugo's gonna be the break glass in case of emergency backup DM.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's gonna be
that
because I
was the
think
purpose.
Santos is most likely going to be the Enzo replacement, right? That box crashing 8. I think that's what they want out of Santos. Because they
But
don't
I
want
think
people.
you saw that
People,
as- as
people,
a sub,
people,
you mean,
people are
though,
under
right?
the assumption that Santos is going to do what Caicedo does. He's not, bro.
No, I don't think he is, and I think you saw that later on in the game, like in terms of his
Exactly.
cameos. So
Yes.
what the first 10 minutes he was playing like almost Lavia and Caicedo
Yeah,
were
yeah.
against LAFC, where it was like
Which was
both
not
of them staying
helping.
very close together, very deep. But then after about those first 10 minutes, he started doing the Enzo stuff of pushing really hard up the pitch to how he gets the assist,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
getting the ball further
Mhm.
up, and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think what we did as well, this is actually when Sar came on. All of a sudden, it was Josh pushing into midfield and doing that kind of stuff and driving with the ball, and it meant Santos could go further up because Gusto, I'll be honest, in the second half, like wasn't doing much. But yes, it's just a case of learning. But I think the only disappointing thing from my point of view, and again, this isn't a problem with Essugo, it's just a problem I keep harping on about, is like you went and got this guy, and I'm going to make a point again, and people are going to get annoyed about it, but you went and got this guy for 20 million, who's further back on the development than Leslie.
Yeah.
It's just
How
like,
much was Leslie, by the way?
all I'm asking with this guy is I think there is a player there with Essugo, but they've just got to let him develop. Like I don't want to be in a position in 2 years' time where you haven't let him develop and we're in the same position with Leslie, but he hasn't exploded year one because he's not going to, and then you've sold him and got someone else in. That's like you have to just let
you know
it.
what it is, by
One
the
of
way?
these guys,
You know what it is?
have to let it, like develop.
I also will say I think I nearly guarantee if Lavia could stay fit the majority of the time, Essugo would have never been a thing. It's that simple. Because then we would have four very solid midfielders.
Maybe. I think they always kind of had this idea of like, let's get their next because the way I see Essugo, Paez, and Santos, they're the next ones to get the torch after this midfield, right? Like I think the Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo midfield is here for a long time, right? Like I think we're gonna have this midfield for.
Let me rephrase what sorry to interrupt. Let me rephrase what RSM said. Maybe we would have signed him. He would have been loaned out.
Yeah,
he would 100% have been loaned out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I can see that. I think part of it's also the coaching aspect. I think part of it's like they want these players to learn under the current midfield. Like they want, because, okay, I have so many thoughts going through my head right now. I'll just address one thing at a time, right? I think they want Essugo to learn from Caicedo, just like they want Santos, from what was read, what was said, to learn from Lavia. Even though yesterday he didn't look that comfortable in that position, he looked comfortable more in Enzo Fernandez's position, right? So maybe that role switches where he needs to learn more from Enzo Fernandez than Lavia. But regardless, like Paez might be a player that comes in and maybe he learns that 10 role better, and then eventually Santos moves to that more 8 defensive 6, which he has done it. He has played in a double pivot. We've seen it in previous preseasons as well. He can do it. But in terms of like, you know, I'm seeing comments like this, for example, like, and I'm not saying this, I don't agree with it. Like, and by the way, Sean did, you know, say he'll be fine though, right? But like, Mids being generous, he wasn't good, kept losing it. He only lost the ball. Santos only lost the ball 3 times. Okay,
he was fine. Like, there was a couple moments. This is where like I agree with what I'm saying earlier. Like people want to do this like this extremist thing of like both sides of the coin, because like I don't know about anyone else. I was not asking him to play because a bunch of people came in Lewis's stream yesterday after we'd all been asking him for play. Like when he came on, just like hate watching him.
Oh my god, it was the Mon guy. Yeah, he's an idiot, bro.
Really?
It wasn't just him.
Yes.
I don't know about hate watching. That's
bro, we're not asking. And they were like, "Oh, is this what you're asking for?" I'm not.
Yeah,
asking
somebody
him
came
play
out to
because-
hate watch Santos, bro. It was
Oh,
crazy.
he came on what, 60, 70 minutes?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
asking him
Yes.
to play because
Yes,
I think
I'm so confused right now.
I was
I
at a
watched I watched back Lewis's stream. It's true. Like this guy, as soon as Santos came on, every
No.
failed touch or whatever, or failed pass, he was like, "This is what you asked for, Scott," and
Yeah,
he was
I
adding
saw.
Scott every single time. He
Damn.
added
I don't know
Scott.
why.
Yeah, I
Like-
him out. But the thing is like, and that's what people I don't think understand. I'm talking about me personally. I didn't want Santos to play because I think he's miles better than Enzo or Caicedo, and I think he's like this incredible midfielder, and he's going to be a 10 out of 10 midfielder from day one. I want him to play because for a few reasons. Number one, I want to see him in this system. I want to see him play in this system to see how he works with everyone. Number two is I want him to I just want to see him play in a Chelsea shirt. I want to see what he can bring to the team because I think he is a good player. Like no one was when people were asking him to play, and I'm speaking kind of for most people, and if there were people who think this, then fair enough. But I'm not asking I sat there asking him to play week in, week out and saying Moresca's an idiot for him not playing, because I mean he deserves to start over the other two. I think he's ready to consistently start with the other two. It's more of a case of like I want number one in like against Flamengo, play him with the other two, see how he plays. Number two, it's like I want to see if he can hang. Like we saw in the game yesterday, yeah, there were some nervy moments, but you will see once he got some confidence,
Yes.
there's a player in there. You can see, I can see immediately there's a player in there for certain things. Like I said, the fact that immediately we didn't have to say anything. Immediately showing for the ball, left, right, telling people where to pass, doing the Jorginho thing. Mentally, I can already tell up there, tactical IQ, unreal. I can already tell tactical IQ is unreal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a couple other things. The physicality he has to improve on. Maybe it's he can't take too many touches from the ball. That's fine. He can learn that. The mental side to teach, or it's very hard to teach, and he has that immediately. So that's cool.
So
I know what I'm
he
getting
has
from
a,
him.
he has a midfielder's brain. That's what you can tell. Like he's meant to be in the midfield. He's good in
100%.
it.
So like, let me just make this point, right? Because I don't want to be misunderstood on this, and I
Yeah, go
want to
ahead.
just get this point out, right? So just bear with me here. I feel like people are doing way too much on both ends with Essugo and Santos.
Agreed.
Negative, positive as well. All right, like the reason I was impressed with Essugo, and why I wasn't as impressed with Santos, but I'm not stupid enough to throw my toys out with the whatever. You know the saying, all right? I told you my brain's not working right. So you can see Essugo is clearly not comfortable with the ball.
Yep.
Bro, Marshall, we saw him pass the ball out the field multiple times. What are we talking about? Because I am looking at the stats right now for Dario Essugo. 34 out of 35 accurate passes. Lost possession once. What are we talking about? This is what I mean when you're doing too much. Doing too much. Okay, maybe that possession lost once was that pass that you're talking about where you saw it multiple times. Bro, you're probably seeing double or triple because of the heat.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with you. Essugo, I agree with Scott. In terms of like finding the spaces and, you know, doing what Jorginho does best, which is being available for the pass, he needs to work on that. There were moments where he did find those spaces, but there were a lot of moments where he's like running into the wrong areas, not getting into the right spaces. However, what was impressive about Essugo is that when he did get the ball, very seldomly did he lose it, which is something in a possession-based system is always going to be valuable, right? Now, is he going to give me the line-breaking passes that Caicedo or Enzo does and, you know, all this and that? Not yet. Not yet. There is a player there, and I think you guys can see it. There is a player there. He needs to develop. He needs to get more minutes and figure out, you know, the spaces and the chemistry and all that stuff. But the good things that he did when I did see him is he kept, when he did get the ball, didn't really lose it other than the once, passed it, had pretty accurate passing, kept it simple. He had one moment where he saw a space and he ran into it, dribbled past like two Tunis players. And again, got to give it context. It is Tunis. You probably don't get away with that against an Everton. You probably don't get away with that against United or so on and so forth, right? Now, in comparison, Andre Santos, it was almost like the polar opposite. Santos, when in the beginning, when he did get the ball, heavy touch or just not quick enough, did lose it, right? He got dispossessed 3 times in that game, but did have a same percentage, 94%, 16 out of 17% accurate passes. When he was up the pitch, he looked a little bit more comfortable. He was running into spaces. He was finding the spaces to be available for the pass more often than not. So like there's pros and cons. To me, I was more impressed with Essugo, mostly because of just the physicality was there. He was able to keep possession for the most part. And Santos, you know, first impressions wasn't very good, but then he grew into the game and then he got his assists. We'll see how in the next game when he does play, if he starts off in that 8 position, maybe see him be more comfortable, maybe see him, you know, spark a little more. But I think, I don't think both the players are bad. And I don't think I'm looking at one player or the other saying, okay, you need a loan, you clearly need to develop. I think in the course of the season, we'll see Essugo will improve. Santos will definitely improve. Like, there's no doubt about that. I think Essugo will improve, finding his spaces and all that stuff. But again, all this is like we're doing too much. He lost possession multiple times. Listen, there's a reason. Like RSM said, there's a reason why the coach didn't play him, bro. If this was Flamengo, imagine if this was
horse in that midfield, bro.
And then everyone would have been saying the worst things in terms of Andre Santos. So honestly, there's also part of it too where it's like, yo, there's pressure on the kid. Let's ease him into the team. There's no reason to just throw him to the wolves. Like same thing with Esteval. When Esteval comes to this team, I want Moresca to treat it the same exact way, bro.
I mean, Santos is quite lucky to have like Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo in front of him. Like, you know, like there's no real pressure for him like to be starting. So yeah, he can definitely ease into this team, and yeah, that's what Enzo's probably going to do for him, and it's good to see.
Big up, boys! Big up, boys!
Big up. I like, and let's be real, guys. Like, in those moments that Santos got dispossessed against another team like a PSG or a Man City, you probably get punished for that, right? So it's good that he came on against Tunis. Find your you know, your gear. Find your connections and your chemistry and your, you know, learn your teammates and stuff, and then slowly but surely get integrated into the squad. I think if this was another team and he got punished for getting dispossessed the way he did, then we're having a totally different argument, and it's not a good one. But
Big up,
again,
boys,
I
but,
think it's be patient, man. Like I don't think we're doing too much with this. I'm glad he finally played.
Yeah. So
Okay,
listen.
Can we move on from the lads?
I'm
So
gonna
let's
be
talk
quite
about
honest. I'm gonna be quite honest here. Yeah.
Did you even watch the game?
Nah.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what?
you were
I
the watch
was-
along.
You're like me then.
Never mind.
You watch the highlights.
So listen. Let's be realistic here. I really am gonna be honest. I think Essugo's performance was an average performance. I don't
Of course
really
you
think
do.
it was. I don't think it was both bad, and I don't think it was good. Actually, that's what I'm saying. I think he just did a job. That's the best way to put it, in my personal opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong in me saying that at the end of the day. Again, I think one of the things that I always make, one of the things that I always speak about and I always maintain about is about, you know, our players. You know, this is the Club World Cup. It's pre-season. You know, I think for them it's about for some of these newer players, getting into a rhythm and understand the system. I think in terms of like Santos, my views on him are that you know it's clear that he needs time to develop in terms of like the position that maybe Moresca wants him to do. It was, and we'll see that maybe hopefully progress over time. There's not
What
that much.
position do you think Moresca wants him to play?
I probably would. I think he probably is gonna want him to be a bit more of a Swiss Army knife, but I think he's probably gonna be the Enzo backup in my personal opinion. That's probably what he is in my honest opinion. But obviously in this game he was playing the 6 role because I think that's probably what was needed to be replaced at that moment in time, right? Obviously, maybe in the next game he plays in that 8 role that Enzo probably plays and he shines a bit more better. But one of the things I always come back to that I always say, man, he's doing a job for the team. And listen, you know, it's ES Tunis. You know what I mean? We should be allowing our players to, you know, have their highs and lows against teams like these. It's not really, these are not the games that, you know, tell you whether or not our players are good enough in my personal opinion.
Have you guys spoken on Delap yet or no?
No, that was going to be the
He
next
was-
one, unless
he
anyone
was-
wanted to
I
add
can't
on to
lie
the
to you,
Santos thing.
He was probably my man of the match for the game yesterday.
He was good.
He was good. I mean,
Like he is. I think he's everything I expect him to be, but more in some ways. Because like the best way, like he's just a brute. In like to put it plainly, like
But with footwork though,
like,
he got footwork though.
No, he does. But do you know what I think is good to see, or not? I don't know if it's good to see, but it's the case of like it's a nice get out of jail free card for him. There's a couple of times where like he isn't always on it with the touches, but he's just got that strength. Like even if he messes the touches, messes the touch up slightly, he can still just out strength. Like there was a moment where he got a touch, went to play it past the player, and I was like, oh, he's fucked it up because the player was ahead of him. Bro, just shoulder barged him out of the way. It was like, okay, cool, now I've still got the ball.
Bro, he does
I'm
the
still with-
bro. He did like the NFL, bro. He got the shoulder down, ready for the concept.
Yeah, bro.
It was crazy.
That's like but he was very good. He's learning the Chelsea way though. You know, make 20 runs in a game and get 1 pass. Learning that
Oh my
early.
god, that
It's nice
pissed me
to
out
see.
so bad. He made that one run,
Brother,
and I'm like yelling at KDH to play the ball as he's running, and KDH just passes it
Honestly,
sideways.
he kept doing that, bro. I think I counted in
When
the first
Nkunku
half
did
about
it?
5. I think Enzo had a couple, and Nkunku had a couple. KDH had that one. The first person I saw pass him the ball on a through ball was Paddy Shield. Successfully, might I add.
Yeah, it was.
Passing the ball.
It was 6 minutes.
Bro,
ago.
you know who's gonna find them on those runs, by the way? Caicedo, because Caicedo loves playing that ball to
He
Jackson,
does like playing in central,
but Jackson
like,
can never control her to get to it.
I mean,
Yeah, but no,
Paul Palmer does a
He-
lot of
he's
that last
definitely-
season still, so that'd be interesting
Yeah.
to see as well.
No,
He's,
when we have our full
because
team,
he-
you have like Reese could play that ball to him, Caicedo will play that.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot more.
yeah, you
Hopefully
just
that's
see
what
with him,
chances.
there's so many positives, and I think what was good to see on the goal is like, for me, most of that goal was him that he scored because I think the pass from Enzo's okay, but it's like it's not much he can deal with. But the first touch to take it away from the defender is nice. The little chop away from the second defender, and yeah, like that's a really nice finish.
And the
And the
quickness.
fact that, like, if that's Jackson, because I saw people say, "Oh, if that's Jackson, he's not bearing it." I'm being so honest. I like Jackson. Jackson, that first touch, the way he takes it away from the defender, he's not doing. He's taking that first touch and it's stopping the ball dead. And then the defender.
Either that, or
That's
I would
what-
also argue even if he somehow replicates what Delap did with the first touch to get away from the defender, he then does another chop.
yeah.
could take an extra
Or
time.
He
chops the
doesn't
wrong way.
shoot it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't immediately like, okay, I did the one chop. I'm by defender. I now have the space. I'm gonna shoot immediately. Jackson, we've seen him do that and then take another touch.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about what I've been seeing from Delap is that this guy's willing to shoot. And I always say
Yes,
this, bro, like, yo, we need people to shoot when you're in front of goal. Like, I want you to be selfish. I want you to try to shoot and multiple times. Like, I remember what Delap did a lot of times in that game, and unfortunately, like, because of the low block we were up against, like, there was never really a clean opportunity. Like, he would cut and he would try to, like, find an opening outside the box, and he was trying to shoot and then he would have to lay it off to Enzo or whatever, and it's just like, bro, like, you could see he wants to shoot from distance. He wants to get goals. Like, it's nice to see. And then his goal, like, quick little flick. Okay, I'm one-on-one with the keeper. Let me try a shot right now. Boom, takes the shot. It wasn't the best shot, but hey, because of how quickly you reacted, you kind of keep the keeper, flat-footed. So it was it was nice to see, man. It's like a breath of fresh air, and I'm pretty sure he's now kind of. It looks like he cemented his place in the first team.
Marshall, he was already, like, the moment he walked through the door, he was going to be number one at this football club. I've said before, we could sign Ekitike tomorrow and sell Jackson. He's still starting the season as our number one.
Who?
Really? Over Ekitike?
Delap, yes.
Delap? Oh yeah, no, Delap has earned it, brother.
The moment Enzo came out with all the stuff about he understands the system, this, that, and the other, that from that moment, he's number one. Because you look at how he's dealt with everyone else. Literally everyone else that we brought in outside of like Delap, you look at how he's dealt with them, whether you agree or not is irrelevant, but you look how he's dealt with them. Delap is the only one that's different. He's dealt with Delap the exact same way he dealt with Lavia when he came in last summer, like when Moresca came in last summer. The exact same way. The moment he came in, Lavia was starting. Straight away.
True. The big game too, wasn't it? Liverpool, wasn't it? Literally Liverpool.
Yeah, straight away came in.
He threw us right into Liverpool. Yeah, I remember that. I remember we were laughing because he got thrown into the deep end. I remember he performed. Lavia had a good game.
Ah, look at this guy, man. 3 out of 3 ground duels won. Like, he is like what Scott was saying. Like, bro, this guy's a brute. Like, he'll.
Facts.
Okay, but can we stop this? Listen, can we stop this idea?
Here we go.
No. I'm not actually just about his performance. I'm actually going to say something else. I'm saying that, but if Jackson is still to stay by the time we get to August 16th, we shouldn't also be acting like Jackson's not going to be starting August 16th. Because when Jackson was available to start, right, to start, keyword, yeah, in our first game, he did start. In our second game, he experimented and put on Delap first, obviously. Obviously, in this game, he had no choice but to start Delap. So, for me, I personally don't know yet.
I don't think you're proving any point with that one, to be honest.
I am proving a point because I'm saying for game 1, he decided to start his starting striker.
That was but how long was Delap with Chelsea then? In the first game?
He switched. Game 2, he clearly told me he experimented. I wanted to start a few stuff. That was game 2. Game 3, he had no choice because the guy that his number one striker essentially was out because of his foolishness, right? There's a red card that he got in game 2, right when he came on. So until obviously we see when Jackson comes back, whether or not he still stays in the tournament or not.
I don't know. Like, do you reckon the manager would trust Jackson the way he's acting lately?
I mean, he trusted him before against. He trusted him. He trusted him once before against Newcastle, still playing in the cup final.
And then he did it again.
Yeah. So for me, there's always that possibility. So that's why I'm saying.
I feel like he might have to earn his way back into the trust as well, like performance on the field as well. Like if he does.
I mean, first game in the Premier League, it's going to be Delap, and
I feel like Delap will definitely get that start.
Jackson's had his own fault for losing his place to Delap.
I mean, he's definitely going to start anyway. Jackson's red carded.
I mean, we'll have to see first. I'm not. I think
he's also like.
I think we have to see first before we jump to that conclusion because, again, there's only been one game where Jackson and him have basically directly competed. Right on one spot.
Yeah, and he won decisively.
No. You can say that he won, but there's only been one game that they competed.
Well, if you look at the first game, Delap came on, did a beautiful cross to Enzo Fernandez, I think. Got the assist, when he came on, and then obviously, the second game.
The fact that Enzo Fernandez did not get robbed of an assist.
And then like that goal he got, I don't think Jackson does something like that. But like, I'm not saying like there's a huge difference of level ability like between Delap and Jackson. Like, Jackson does have his strengths as well, but like, Delap is different to Jackson as a striker. So it's depending what you want on the day as well, maybe if you do, but. Sadly, we don't get like a Jokeris or Oshiman, but like it is what it is.
Fuck Jokeris, bro.
What?
Over this. Fuck Jokeris, bro. I can't. You trigger me when
Yeah,
you say that.
yeah, hold up, that's true, bro.
No,
So hold up.
You don't
So
want
Jackson is out. Jackson is out for what?
How
He's
do you
out
not want
for
Jokeris?
16 round of 16 and quarterfinals, right?
No,
it's
he's
just-
only
just
out one
around-
more
just-
game.
It's just around a 16, and then the
Just around
first
a
game
16?
against,
Yeah, he's
Palace.
gonna be available for quarterfinal.
And then he's not available for the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
bro. All I'm saying is I think the lap starts more than you would think.
Well, as I say, he just has to. I'll be so honest. The lab just has to play well against Palace, and he's starting the next
Pretty
game.
much. Pretty much. I mean, he's got a goal and an assist in the. Oh, I said he had a start before. No, he didn't start the first game, did he? No, it was Jackson.
He's got a goal and
started.
assist in 3 appearances.
Yeah, goal and assist in 3 appearances. Like that's good, and he's been impactful. Like you can see, he makes a difference. Like when he gets the ball, you feel like something is going to happen, and that's not a feeling we've had here as Chelsea fans from a 9 in a while. Like I feel like every time he does get the ball, like it's a saved shot or a blocked shot. It's something like, holy crap, something is gonna happen. Like it's that striker, man. Like we're missing it. And with Jackson, like no disrespect to Jackson in terms of like what he can do on the pitch, but his style of play, it's not like what Delap is giving us right now. When you got a creator, and listen, it might even be the case that we could talk on this, but it might even be the case that Delap works better with Nkunku and actually brings the best out of Nkunku.
I don't care.
I don't care about it either. I technically don't want to see it, especially because Nkunku was the amount of times he was hogging that ball yesterday and not letting go of it, especially when Delap was making runs or someone was making a run.
You just
Nani
hate.
was
You
making a
just
run.
listen. You know what, man? I don't like this take from you, mate. You in particular, buddy. I don't like this take from you. You know why? You know when Sanchez was playing for us, the whole school of thought was maintaining his value. Right now, with Nkunku against ES Tunis, we are maintaining his value. We're showing him that he still got it, man. He still got the juice. You know what I mean? He's still available for 50, 60 million pounds.
No,
Don't
we're
get your mans. You know what I
Get
mean?
Garnacho in. So Garnacho
Yeah.
puts
I'm so glad. By the way, it's unfortunate because it should have been a penalty, and Santos should have he made that.
Oh, fuck
I'm
you,
so-
Scott, man.
That
Fuck
should've
you,
been.
Scott.
I'm so
Fuck
glad
you,
he did.
Scott.
I'm so glad.
Fuck you, man.
I'm so glad he didn't stat pad a penalty for that. With
We
that.
needed him to start pad.
You could try to tell me that we're trying to keep his
don't
value,
do that.
but
We just stop doing this, yeah, because
No,
we
no,
can't
no,
run,
no,
we
no,
can't
no,
say
we
for
don't.
some players, yeah, we're not maintaining their value. Like in Nkunku in particular, we genuinely, in my personal opinion, are playing him because we are trying to, create a market for him.
Or
Because
we're trying to keep him.
all of us here
no,
agree.
no,
All of us
no,
here.
no,
All of us here
no,
agree.
absolutely
We are trying
not.
to sell.
I'm not
Nkunku,
having this.
and
See,
we are trying
isn't
to
a gimmick.
create.
You tried
that
this
value,
gimmick with me about
that
like
value
using my
price
own
point.
thing
He's a
against me.
hypocrite.
The value
Here, let
price
me
point.
tell you the difference.
Yes.
Let me tell you the fundamental
That
difference.
sounds like
right?
speculation to me. I
Let
mean, I
tell you
can't
the
lie. Sounds like
fundamental
speculating.
difference,
This
right?
is
When
not-
we got
this is
Nkunku, we got a
We have
player
precedence.
that we
Yeah.
thought
That's the
was going to be a
Respectfully,
world-class
this sounds
player,
like
right?
speculation. That being
we
the
got
case,
a
shut the
We
player
didn't think Sanchez could be
that
world class.
we thought we got a
Sorry, Mark, what
player
you
that
saying?
was going to
Speak.
have a team built around him. We got a player that people recognize is one of the best French talents in the world. Now, he comes to Chelsea and doesn't step up to that. And a lot of people speculate that it's because he doesn't look interested. It's because he doesn't want to be in the team. Other
looked
players
interested
can see
yesterday.
it. Look at his agent. His agent can still get him links to United, can still get him links to Bayern and stuff. Whereas Robert Sanchez, we knew he wasn't that great going on. He knew he wasn't world class. He didn't come from world class background. He doesn't have this cloud of he looks uninterested on the pitch.
Sanchez come from humble beginnings, boys.
When you start putting on Sanchez there and you see him have how many clean sheets in the last few games? I'm not trying to vouch for Sanchez, but at the end of the day, guess what? Now we're hearing rumors that he might get sold to West Ham. So listen, if he gets sold,
but that's
bravo,
not because of him
congrats,
doing
that's
ball marshal.
brilliant.
That's
That's
not because he did
brilliant.
ball marshal.
But
though. Like,
you know,
if he did-
Yeah,
you
that's
know
not
who
because-
maintains his value?
what I'm saying.
Nkunku, because Nkunku doesn't look interested. It's a totally different case
What about
than
that
someone
game,
who we're playing
yesterday?
into form
I
and trying
agree.
to show he can have good saves. Here's the comp, People
Wait.
know how good Nkunku is.
When
You
you
don't
say
have to show
Nkunku
him
doesn't
the
look
Chelsea.
interested,
No,
what
no,
about
no,
the game
no,
he just
no,
played?
no,
He
no.
looked interested. He wanted to
Wait,
score
wait,
that
wait,
game
wait,
as well.
And he still sucked.
Boy, that's a good point, Chris.
I thought he's
I
alright,
actually
but-
like Chris's point.
He wasn't
But I think
amazing,
Marshall, the point
He
I'm
was
trying to
worse
make,
than
Marshall,
Santos. I'll
the
say
point
that.
I'm trying to make, Marshall, is not necessarily, but I talk about creating a market for him. when we talk about creating a market for Nkunku, it's also about the price point we're trying to sell him at, right? That's the key thing that I think a lot of us here seem to be forgetting. Remember, the club's price point for him, if I'm not mistaken, in January,
50.
and I think they maintained the same price. It's 60 M's, wasn't it, guys? Like,
I
it
thought it was
wasn't
about
50
50
M's.
or something.
No, it was 60 M's. It was 60 M's. Because they were directly
don't know.
asking for 16 million pounds at the time. Excuse me, sorry, I'm having a nice little cake here, so apologies about that. But essentially, that's what we're asking for. We were trying to validate that said price, and also, whether we like to admit or not, he himself is also now trying hard to maintain, to actually get to that value and try and look, good on the pitch. He's trying to sell himself too, right? It's not just us just trying to sell him. He himself knows that he's trying to sell himself. That's why, yeah, I'll be honest, if you looked at the way he played against ES Tunis, he was trying for once in a while. He actually looked like he was trying to make stuff happen.
He really wanted a goal, man. He had that ground when he didn't score that goal.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make, Marshall. Right? That's at least that's my POV, at least on the matter. I think of Sanchez. Obviously, you mentioned him. West Ham is this former manager that used to start him consistently in at Brighton and at Chelsea when he used to play. No, it wasn't at Chelsea, so I want Chelsea period. But obviously at Brighton was there and wanted him. That's the whole reason why.
I don't know what he's seasoning him, but
yeah. But
by the way, I'm gonna be real. I think you're both wrong. Like on the different points in terms of like the whole Sanchez thing. I've disagreed with Marshall on that point. To like consistently, you don't play Sanchez into form because that's a stupid idea. Because you don't play him into form because he just sucks. So you're not going to play him into like a market opportunity because no one's interested in him outside of West Ham, like Ahmed said, who is his former manager. But where I disagree with Ahmed, and I maybe some of this is just trying to like a joke with Marshall or whatever, because of the whole Sanchez thing, but Nkunku could have had his best game in the Chelsea shirt yesterday. It quite literally doesn't matter. A game against ES Tunis is not going to change his market value, no matter how he plays. It's just not going to change.
I don't think, no matter how bad Nkunku is in a Chelsea kit, it's not gonna change his value. Messi had a bad 2 seasons at PSG to his standard, right? And he's still valued as one of the most valuable players. So people know you take him out of that PSG environment, he's gonna fucking cook.
Wait,
so like you take Nkunku, people don't understand. You take Nkunku out of the Chelsea environment, he's still a fantastic player.
It's Nkunku and then it's Messi. You know what I mean? It's Messi.
Yeah, two different.
You know what I mean? That's like
I know,
me
but
saying
there are players that you understand.
Messi can be bad. He will start.
But my point is, I think my point more so is about. I think this is the Club World Cup. It's a great place to at least advertise him to a certain extent, and maybe that helps you get a bit more money. I'm not saying it's going to
advertise him. You know how good of a player he is.
He's not been great, though, Marshall, for the last 2 seasons.
No, but
he's missed the whole season, and then the second
this
season, he's been extremely poor. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Like,
you want to think he's a bad player, or do you think he's just not interested in being at Chelsea?
Marshall, I'm not saying that he's a bad player or he's interested in Chelsea. I don't think that actually matters. My point is about the value you want to get for him. Do you seriously think, you're going to be able to get 60 million for him? Like, if I was to end the season at the Conference League, I do not think we get 60 million.
Yes, because I understand there's still a good player there. As Chelsea, if I'm Iqbali, if I'm the directors, I'm not an idiot and I'm going to be like, well, Nkunku's been pretty crappy here at Chelsea. I guess his value is going to go down. You could probably get away with selling him at 40. Another club is going to see you're selling Nkunku at 40 or 35 million and be like, yo, that's a steal. And they're going to rob us blind. No, I'm going to keep his value up.
Well,
look at how we sold Havertz and Mount.
Number one is Bayern have always had interest in Nkunku, says there's that. Number two is like, I'm gonna be so like, I'll go back to it. And this Nkunku thing is silly to me because do you understand for him to put himself in a shop window after the season he's had, where like I'm just going on based on this idea we're trying to play him into almost play him into getting 60 million. He would have to have a tournament so unbelievable after the season he's just had.
Yeah,
like he would be the best player of the tournament.
It really wouldn't make a difference.
He was never going to be because he was never going to start because Cole Palmer was going to start.
Listen, that's fair enough, but for me, it's just you don't want to end up in a situation where you can't get the value that you want for him, and then you end up having to maybe get somewhere in the 40 million for him. Right?
But I'll be honest, I don't care. Like as long as he's gone, I genuinely don't give a shit. I don't care.
Scott's not thinking about the accountant. I mean, the book value.
No, I'm not. I want him gone.
You're going to be losing PSR value here, man. You know what I mean?
What a shame.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm not willing to.
Waiting.
Obviously, I'm not willing to speculate on the matter of the PSR prices myself personally, but
Then shut the fuck up.
you know what I mean? But it's funny. It's
Like
funny
this man's
that,
like, I'm not willing to
it's funny.
speculate, and he keeps yapping, bro. Give it up.
Listen, that's because your boy Caicedo didn't play. Yeah, it's not my fault.
You don't need to,
know
man.
what I
He
mean?
rested
Not
finally.
because
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
finally
listen, again,
rested.
I'm not willing to speculate on PSR prices, but what I will say,
We're doing
is
very
that-
good for that, aren't we?
yeah, I'm just saying, we need to make sure we extract as much value as we can from Nkunku. And I'm not saying that we need to do it for every single player. That's why I'm happy with the vast majority of them, obviously being bomb squad, staying in Cobham, waiting for their transfers to take place. Obviously, we know who we're talking about. But,
could have stayed with him.
But with Nkunku, he's got the source. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
No, he hasn't. He sucks.
Yeah.
He's got the
No.
sauce.
He should have gotten a goal. He should have gotten
No,
his
he
goal
shouldn't. He
today.
sucked.
No.
Well,
The one good moment he had in the whole game yesterday was when he.
I
nutmegged
promise
the player
you.
and kicked-
I promise
the
you,
only-
Scott. Yeah,
the
when he
only
wins,
good moment he had
when he
in-
wins,
The
Scott,
only good moment he had in the whole game yesterday was when he nutmegged the player and kicked the ball so far ahead of himself that we didn't get the penalty. He's an idiot, bro. He sucks. He's actually terrible.
please,
do
when he wins a trophy, I'm gonna send
I
you a
don't
special
care.
message.
didn't he
I
win a
don't
trophy?
He already did.
Wouldn't-
He won the Conference League. Anyways,
Yeah.
No,
So-
Chelsea, bro. Specifically, I'm talking about when he leaves, Marshall. That's the whole point.
I don't care.
so in terms of like having an honest conversation on Nkunku here, all right, not a trolley one, not an agenda one. What I'm gonna say on Nkunku is, in terms of like his attitude, I think he gets on with all the players. I don't think he necessarily. Part of me lately has been feeling like he's being professional, right? And he's getting on with the players, and it doesn't, especially after yesterday's game where the link-up play, and he was playing that shadow striker that Ahmed's been asking for all season, right? He was playing more of that shadow striker. Now, was he good? No. But if he plays more in that position, could I potentially see him improving? Potentially. But that also depends on the player. And for me, the player I do think is already 1 foot out the door, is being really professional, but is giving me mixed signals because when you do see him on the pitch, when you do see him in training, he looks like he's having a good time. He looks like he's getting along with everyone. But does that mean anything? I don't know. So in terms of Nkunku, it's a weird one right now. Maybe not for everyone, but for me specifically, it does seem a little bit like an odd one because I am curious to see how he gets along when he's working with a Delap instead of a Jackson.
No, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna be real. I don't care because you saw yesterday. Like you can say,
No,
he
it's
was
too
better.
He was
you can
hogging
say,
the
he
shit out of the
was-
ball.
It's not even that, bro. Like you could say he was better
That was
yesterday.
what pissed
Will
me
he
off, yeah.
work with a Delap? How many times did he find Delap in the box? We just spoke about it earlier. Delap's making runs in behind. How many times did he? How many
Yeah,
times
but
did
they
he
need
find
to
it?
find a connection, mate. He needs to fucking find a
No,
connection.
no,
with him.
no. Yeah,
What
yeah.
kind
Find
of
he needs to
stupidity
find
Give
Find
him
him.
give
is
him
this?
time, man. Give
He
him
needs to
No.
time.
establish a
Stupidity.
connection.
No,
The only way to make a
don't-
connection,
This is-
Ahmed, is to pass the damn
We are
ball.
we are actually being hypercritical on him. This is
No,
I
he's just-
thought
he's
it would
just not
be
good
Because he's supposed to be a world-class player.
He's just not good enough.
He's
No.
not been like that, bro. He's trying to get.
Yeah,
back
so he
into it.
deserves the
Oh,
hypercriticism. There's standards. Standards.
Listen, I'm sorry.
This
I'm
is a
not
player that's
trying
supposed to be going in his
standards,
prime.
This is preseason. Let them take their
No,
time.
leave.
Let them
Motherfucker, how long do you think this has been happening? Has preseason just happened the last 3 games?
Jackson
No,
are
he's
new
been
players.
playing like this for the last 1.5 years, bro.
Him and Jack,
He's got one more in him,
Him
right?
and Delap. Him and Delap.
No, good riddance. Bye.
Bro, fuck you. No, fuck you. Yeah.
I'm out of here, man.
Him and Delap have only had their first game together. Kelma. Tranquilo on the ball,
No,
please.
good riddance.
You know what I mean? No. You know what it is, yeah? Scott just wants to get everyone out, man. Listen.
No, I want Nkunku gone because he's not good enough.
Listen. Let's relax, man. Let's see what happens.
Good
man. See what
riddance.
happens. Listen. Nkunku, man. Stay.
He actually was
please.
the worst player last season.
No, he wasn't the worst player. I'll be honest.
Gusto was really poor. I can't lie.
Gusto
Gusto.
was the worst player.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up for me.
Nah,
Gusto
man.
was the worst player.
Gusto was bad. Gusto was bad. Don't get me wrong.
By
but
the way,
I
Marshall,
don't know. Nkunku
I
was
saw
bad.
your tweet on a Champon.
What?
I want to hear your opinion on that, bro.
What do you mean?
Which one?
You mean multiple of them?
Because I saw I think the tweet was about should that Champon be starting at right back or something like that, yeah. And you were saying you kind of disagreed with that. But I remember.
Well, Reece James.
No, as in like he should be like whatever
Was it a
Reach is not
reply?
playing that.
Oh.
I think
I'm
so.
looking
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
tweet. I
I
wanna
think it was
try to,
something
like,
around that time. It was like
actually
after
address
the game. It was like somewhat after the game. It was like somewhat.
He
after
should
the
be
game.
our
Oh, like
backup
last
to Reece
night?
James, though. He should be our backup, I think, easily. At
Yeah,
this
100%.
point.
this.
he should.
Find it.
Like, he can carry that ball way better than Gusto in midfield or whatever.
Listen, but listen.
He's
one
miles
step at
better
a
than.
time.
He's miles
I don't know.
better.
One step at a time.
Gusto's got a
One
long
step
way.
at a time, man. One step
He's
at a
miles
time.
better
bro.
than Gusto.
This other thing. Let's not speculate on whether or not they're gonna start or
Shut
not.
up.
Lastly,
Gusto will
I'm not
probably get
gonna do
more
that.
minutes, though.
But
That's
what I
all
will
for me.
say, let's give him time, bro. You know what I mean? So listen, it's again. I think sometimes we overblow certain performances against weaker teams. Yes, Tunis is not that level. Let's just put it in the most respectful way possible. I want to see him against a bit more of a tougher, grittier opposition before I start saying some of these comments. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
No, he's better than Gusto.
He's not bad.
He is at the minute. He is at the
Please.
minute.
No,
Why are
again,
you acting like he hasn't played in the Prem? What are you watching?
he has played as a
What the
RCV
fuck
in the
are you?
Prem.
Sorry, I was making
Keyword.
past
No, he's played as a right back.
What the
RCV in
fuck
the
are
Prem.
you talking
He's
about?
played
Don't add the
What
context
the
in.
fuck
He's
are
played-
you- and everyone,
in
you know
RCV in
something.
Prem.
This man is caping for Gusto, our worst player, and caping for Nkunku, our second worst player, and he was caping for Samu Amradian. Where the fuck is Samu, huh? Fucking
Oh, by the way, yeah,
back.
Sam, bro. We're talking about
we
Spurs,
hating
bro. That
on-
one guy said
We're
Lukaku,
hating on
bro.
the guy that scored for his team. Is that what we're doing? He scored for
Lukaku,
his
bro.
team.
Lukaku 2.0.
He scored for his team. So I don't know why we're
Lukaku,
trying to hate on
you know-
Samuel already. What is this nonsense?
Hold
What
on.
is
Is
said
this
he's
this
nonsense?
the
Lukaku
tweet you're
2.0.
referring to, Ahmed?
I think it was something like that. I can't remember. I
Let me
don't.
see. Hold on.
Maybe
I
I'm
got
like
it.
maybe I'm lying, Marshall. But I remember. I
No,
remember
I
something.
think I found it. Listen, I'm here to take accountability. I won't run. I'm not a hoe.
I'm not even asking for accountability. I'm actually interested in your comment. That's why.
It's just me. He gave up the ball multiple times in the first, because people were saying Josh Ashipong is a very complete footballer. His
Yeah.
ball
He is.
ability to carry the ball, force teams to collapse towards him, creates. I think Alexis is doing a little too much here.
No, he's
Because
not.
in the
Like,
let me land. Hold on. What I said, and is this what you're referring to, Ahmed? Gusto
so,
was
Brian.
better in the beginning. He grew into the game. Saw it with my own eyes. Definitely improved as the game went on, though. First 20 minutes was rough for Achinpong. And that is not inaccurate.
I mean,
His
he
first
was
20
he
minutes
was
were
losing
rough.
the ball a couple times, yeah, but he
Yes.
grew into it very
But
well.
then he
like,
did
and
grow
then-
into the game. He was more comfortable. Then, as he grew more comfortable, he was attacking a little more. Apparently, someone corrected me. He was the one that won the free kick that got us the first goal. So, like, yeah, I think, and there's no debating this really. Like, and I agree with you guys. If Malo Gusto doesn't improve, which it looks like he's not improving anymore, I do think Achinpong takes his position.
he
We
has
have a
till
video on
January.
it. I don't even think we need to wait till January, Scott.
No, if Bayern want to come in now, then sell him 100%. But I'm saying, like, I'm of the opinion of, like, I don't care if he stays, I don't care if he goes. If by January he's still the same player, then I'm actively looking to push him out of the club come January
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll be
and play Josh, because Josh is, like, in this system is so much better than him. Like, so much better than him. It's not even close. Like, defensively at the moment, there's, like, Gusto's regressed massively anyway. But on the ball, he's so much better in terms of passing. He's better, driving with the ball better, inverting. He's better. Like, at left back, he's better. Like, yeah, there's no comparison right now.
Yeah, actually, let me pull this up real quick. In terms of Josh Achinpong, we were talking to him. He registered 100% successful ground duel battles, 6 out of 6 successful take-ons, 2 out of 2 successful tackles, 1 out of 1, and shot accuracy 1 out of 1 for Chelsea against Esperance. No Chelsea player registered more final third passes than Josh, 11 out of 11. And
Yeah.
most of those passes were to KDH and didn't really lead to anything, right?
I said before. I said before.
What happened?
As I said before, listen. I think Gusto. I think after once he gets his break back and is a bit more and obviously he's gonna be a bit more mentally right. I was like, I think Gusto will be able to get his team back. I don't think I'm that worried necessarily. I think for me, Achinpong has been great. Achinpong has been great. I've always respected Achinpong. I'm not one of those idiots that's obviously been like, I wasn't trying to cook him when he wasn't signing a contract for us. If you remember that one, but clearly at the time. But listen, he's one for the future, right? Whether or not he's one for the now, I think it's a little bit too soon. Hopefully he can, do the job that we want of him right now, which is to be the backup right back, get the job done. Hopefully invert, and keep improving. Hopefully Moresca can add that to him too.
The thing is, for me
Oh,
and
no.
Josh, based on what I saw in the game, right? And this is someone I like, Josh. You know, I've grown very fond of him so far, and he's been really good. And I'm starting to understand, I think, Moresca's approach with why he hasn't been playing these players as much. Mentality-wise, the fortitude is not there yet. I think Josh, in the first 20 minutes, the occasion got to him. He was nervous. And you can say the same thing for Tariq. You can say the same thing for Andre Santos. I think you kind of saw maybe the nerves was kind of out of Essugo because he came in a previous game. But like the pressure to play at Chelsea and be spot on, like it can get to a player. Now, Josh will eventually get used to it. Josh will, you know, harden his nerves eventually, and it won't get to him, as well as the other players. But I think part of the reason why Moresca has been, in a sense, protecting him and not playing him as often, I think does have to do with that. And do I like it? Not necessarily, because then you have to put in a Malagusto who, although mentally he might not get nervous or shaken up by the crowd or the occasion or by the opposition, but you saw, like, in terms of intelligence on the pitch, it's not been there. It's not been there. He's been having stupid bozo moments. Even yesterday, like, even though yesterday was one of his better games, he did lose the ball, and he recovered the ball that he lost, you know?
I'll be honest, it's not even just that I'm like, people are right in terms of, like, yes, there was maybe one of his better games, but the bar with Gusto is so on the floor that it's like, he had one of his better games and just still offers nothing in terms of, like, everything that I spoke about with Josh, driving from midfield, pushing us further up the pitch, defensively solid, able to hold up the ball, being positive with the ball. Gusto does none of that. Even on one of his better games, does none of that. He offers literally, like, I talked about, I think, actually, no, it wasn't on this. I talked about Sanchez on another stream I did earlier, being a net negative. This season, Gusto is a net negative for us. He does not offer anything. Even on a better game, it's kind of like Nkunku in a way where, like, you look at Nkunku yesterday, and that was probably one of his better games he's had for us in a while. Things that still offers nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Kept possession, really.
And unfortunately, that's the same thing with Gusto.
Listen, bro.
Like, Gusto just doesn't offer anything for us in this system.
What I will say is Gusto gave us one good
Big up
season,
Cash Credit.
one shit season. This third season is do or die. It's that simple for me. Because this season that's coming up, he has a chance to redeem himself. Because again, you know, fingers crossed. We all hope Reece James is healthy enough, right, to where the games that we see Gusto here and there won't be an issue. However, if in the games he does not perform, it's up for you. Because in my personal opinion,
that's why
Achimpong has the ability to be a top right back, clear of Gusto's potential. That's just my opinion. What I see from Josh is better. What I see from Josh, you know, obviously extrapolating, doing a bit of what Ahmed doesn't like to do, speculating a bit, right? Let's speculate a bit. Let's extrapolate from what we see. Let's see if the player keeps growing. There's not an invitation for you to speak. There's not an invitation for you to speak. So what I'm saying is, we can speculate from what I see from the attributes that I see from Josh. I think he has the potential to be clear of Gusto. That being the case, Gusto, you got one more season to fix up. It's that simple.
That's what I said.
I think for me, this speculation is not going to get us anywhere. It doesn't help the team, it doesn't help the players. But I think Couch Critics point.
For use of the word speculation.
Couch Critics point is
this is the worst gimmick by far, by the way. I enjoyed every other gimmick. This one was so dead.
Critics point, I think, is a fair point. I think this is where you have to ask yourself, as a club, do you send Josh on loan, right? If you say, okay, Gusto, wait, time out before, hear me out before I say anything. If the club says we're still gonna trust Gusto to still be the backup, okay, then what do you still keep Josh as your backup right back, right? You know what I mean? Or do you then say maybe to allow him to get some more time to develop, to get some more game time? Do you maybe A, send him to Strasbourg, or do you maybe B, send him maybe to another club that obviously going to play a bit more? But that's what I'm asking for, right? I think that's a fair question to ask as well.
Before, like, I'm gonna answer your question, and then I want to ask you guys another question in regards to this topic as well. But I would say right now, as a statement, if there is a bid and a good bid for Gusto,
I'm selling it.
I'm all for the club taking it and just selling.
What do you mean good bid?
Like, I don't.
25
that's what I'm
mil?
saying. Like,
45.
Unlike you, Scott, like
Oh, you
I don't think I need to wait until
45 to 50,
January.
bro. 45 to
Yeah.
50.
If we get 45 to 50 for Malo
Get 'em
Gusto,
Yep.
then
Get
I'm
outta here,
okay
bro.
with that.
I feel
Even
like we
40
get
for me.
30, even 35 maximum, maybe. I don't know. Like,
Nah, I would say 35 just because
I would say
I think
40.
what
I think we
Gusto's
can get 40
shown
out
that
of him.
in another system, he
Yeah.
can be really, really good. That's the one thing I
Yeah.
will say.
By the way,
But
trying to. I do have to make a point. People trying in the chat trying to conflate this to Kukurea or Enzo
I was just
or
about
Palmer.
to ask that.
Like that's stupid. Because like I'm gonna be real, Palmer, there's no comparison. Palmer came like the reason why Palmer gets more time is he came off a season where he was one of the best players in the league.
One of the best
players
10s in the
league.
world, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Kukurea was best left back in the world the season before we bought him, so that's why I'll give him. And then afterwards, there was that one season. Then the second season he played right back, very good. If not, like towards the end of the season, world class. Had a world class, and then has come back and is now the best left back in the league. So it's not in any way, shape, or form the same. I've seen one good season from Gusto where he was very good. Let's not get it twisted. One very good season, and one season where he was a 1 out of 10 the whole season. I've seen both ends of the spectrum. So he has, and also the difference between
Salvador
Palmer
Dali
and
was
between
21
Kukurea and these man. The other difference is, like, we don't have replacements. I've already got a replacement in the squad who's younger and better and suits the system more. So he has 6 months, like I said, 6 months, and then I'm actively asking for him to get pushed out the club.
Listen, what I will say about Gusto and people saying his price and stuff, I want a good price for Gusto because it's not like an Nkunku situation where we need to get him moved on.
Yeah, we're not in a rush.
Because it's like Scott says, like we have another backup in Achimpong, right? If he's not performing, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not too worried about it. And I wouldn't send Achimpong on loan. Why? Let him keep learning under Reese.
Chris,
This
don't
is
fall for the
why
bait.
you
Oh, the
must be
other,
trolling. Quasi, you
yeah,
must
I'm
be
not-
trolling.
I'm
That's the
not.
right
I'm
call,
not.
bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's the right
Oh,
call.
that's
I'm not
the other
taking
thing I
this one
wanted to-
seriously.
The other
I
thing
mean,
you
that's
said
just
I wanted
silly,
to address is I don't think that it's the mentality thing with Josh. I don't know if you're talking about him specifically because I'm gonna be so honest. Gusto, when it comes to like mentality and understanding, has the tactical understanding of my 6-year-old son.
No, but it's not.
And he still
it's
plays
not-
every week.
So I want to differentiate like intelligence on the pitch versus just nerves. You know what I'm saying? I think Josh is still, like he
No,
still
but
feels the
I'd
pressure.
argue
Mhm.
that Gusto's the exact same. We've watched Gusto the entire season just buckle the moment there's any pressure on him. The whole season.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm gonna be real.
But-
Like after this season, like obviously, the thing is, a lot of what we're talking about, what is particularly from mine, is talking about is after this season, right? Gusto may come like turn around next season and be amazing, be
I
the
hope
same
he
as he
does.
was in the first season. And if he is, fantastic, because either way, it's a win. We either have a really good backup in Gusto, or we're having a really good backup in Josh. Either way, we win. It's fine. My
Mhm.
thing is, if based on what I saw last season from Gusto, there was like nothing I saw last season from Gusto is any way, shape, or form better than anything I've seen from Achimpong so far. And that's with a really limited sample size from Josh. That's even adding in the mistakes, quote unquote, that he's made.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I look at the mistakes that Josh has made in terms of obviously he made that mistake, quote unquote. I don't think it was his mistake against Bournemouth, got subbed off. Next time he came back into the team, he fine. He had a shaky game against Copenhagen, where actually thought he's one of our better players. That's how bad we were in the first half in that game against Copenhagen. At left back, inverting. Since then, he's pushed on. You saw him in the game yesterday at left back, pushing into midfield. Was great. This is what I'm saying. When he has adversity against him through mistakes he's made, poor performance, whatever, he's pushed on. Gusto has not at any point in the season. It's the moment any adversity is hit, the moment he has pressure, he buckles constantly.
Mm-hmm. JC's got a good question here. Why do we think Moresca disagrees with us and keeps playing him? My simple answer, in my opinion,
Because he trusts him.
I think there's the trust factor, right? I think there's the favorites, right? I think here's the thing. In terms of ability, Malo Gusto has technical ability. Like there's a player there. Like when you see them train, you can see like Malo Gusto has the ability to do a lot of things. But when it comes to the game, it's the execution that fails him very often. I think also the other reason why Malo Gusto gets picked is because there is chemistry there. Like you can tell like he knows what his teammates are going to do, right? But again, what fails him is I feel like there's lapses in concentration with him and just the inability to physically be able to meet the demands that is being asked of him in midfield, that's being asked of him at right back, that's being asked of him at left back in this system. So to an extent, I think Malo does prefer to be an attacking right back. A right back that can overlap, attack up the pitch, doesn't have to be too responsible for defensive duties, but in terms of defensive duties, only has to worry about the wide player, right? So I think that's where his comfort zone is, and he's just been way out of his comfort zone a lot of the time. And when he has been in his comfort zone, sometimes this season, I think his confidence levels are just shot. He's just not.
Yeah, they are.
Just not doing.
But yeah,
well.
on this, JC
I feel bad. I like the player, but yeah.
It's the same reason why Sanchez plays over Jorgensen, despite the fact he's worse. It's the same reason why Gusto played over Vega at left back for literally no reason. It's the same reason why Lavia came immediately into the team. Same with Delap. It's the same reason why when we sign him, Gittins will immediately start at left wing. I guarantee you. Like, it's why Noni plays week in, week out. It's trust. That's what it is. It's just trust in who he likes. It's bias, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
In terms of guys he has a bias towards because he trusts them and knows who he plays.
But let's not do this, yo. Like, let's not pretend that.
No, this is true. He can't really cross or dribble.
No, we can't. Yeah, we can't. His crossing has never been as strong.
Yeah, his crossing sucks. His crossing hasn't.
But the first question, guys, and do what in attack? Like, let's not pretend like Malo Gusto isn't helpful in the attack. Not last season, but the season prior.
Huh?
You know?
No, he wasn't though, because he can't cross. How is he helping me in attack? He can't shoot. He's shit at shooting. So if he's not great at crossing, he's okay at
I think in under Poch, right? I think he was really, really good at finding the overlap, providing the winger the width, providing an option for the winger, or just doing a quick 1-2 with the winger. I think that's what I'm saying. I think under Poch, he was really, really good. We weren't asking him to, cross all the time. We weren't asking him to crash the box, etc., etc. I do think under Poch was good. And this is where people are saying, oh, but what if we get a different manager than Moresca, who doesn't want them to invert? I still think Achapong has a higher ceiling than Gusto.
Yeah,
I don't care if Moresca's here or not. Like, I still think that Achapong should be the long-term plan after Reece James.
Because I agree with what RSM just said there in terms of the overlapping, but the difference is like the final ball. Like, Gusto's final ball was not great under Poch either. The difference was is he was so incredible like 1v1 defensively, he was incredible. And like RSM said, he was always available for the overlap. He was always getting forward.
How are you going to tell me Achapong can't be an overlapping fullback when did you see the strides he was making into open space in this game? And he can't be an overlapping fullback.
I'm not listening to man. But yeah, his crossing ability's never been good. Like I said, he hasn't improved his crossing in 2 full seasons now.
Yeah, I mean, this is not wrong either.
Also, Ha's earlier comment about a lot of players look worse under Moresca. Are you on fucking crack cocaine?
No, I'm not even.
Colwell looks better. Cucurella is literally looking like the best left back in the fucking world. Enzo's having his most productive season for us in Chelsea and one of the best midfielders in the fucking world with his box crashing and goal scoring and assists. Madueke, even if you rate him or not, is still having a better season. Netos had his best goal scoring season with 4 goals because earlier before then he scored 4 goals in 4 seasons.
Sorry, that's so bad.
What the fuck are you on? Even if you don't rate Sanchez, this is the best Sanchez has had in terms of clean sheets. We were fourth place, had the third best defense.
Why have we got some of these players in our team? That's so bad.
Oh my.
Yeah. I feel like there's no real point in me asking this question because he didn't play enough minutes. But do we have any opinions on Mamadou Sarr?
No.
Absolutely.
I genuinely, Marshall, I saw him touch the ball once. I wasn't really focusing on him, I'll be honest.
I'm gonna let you know right now, the only thought I had on Sarr, bro, the only thought I had on him when he came on, I'm like, damn, bro, he tall as shit. That's the only thing I thought. He's built like Tosin. He's built like Tosin. Bro, he came on and I'm like, yo, this brother tall as hell, bro. What?
I did find it interesting.
He's like 6'4" or something, bro.
I found it interesting. I don't think it's going to be something that he does going forward, because if it is, I don't think it makes sense with everyone else that can play there. I found it interesting. He was playing like, he obviously came on for the right back and was the right centre back in the 3, but a right back in a 4 defensively. I found that interesting. I don't know if that's going to be the case going forward, like almost like Fofana was at some points last season. But that was only really when James and Gusto were out. Yeah, I don't really have any other thoughts. It was nice to see him get minutes. Like, at least he played. Like, I told people he was going to be 5th choice centre back when he came in. Yeah, Like, nice to see him give minutes.
He can eventually earn his place in the first.
Nah, I don't think he will.
Not this season.
Oh yeah,
next
not this season.
Yeah,
I don't even
not
think
this
next season. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, but like
I don't
I'm
think-
trying to say egregious
I
money
don't
is that
think,
like his build. When his body forms, he's going to be a similar build of Tosin.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he becomes a starter while Tosin and Fofana are here.
Yeah, I mean,
Really? I think he can with Tosin. Like, he's the same
Again,
height as him. He's only
CP.
19.
The reason I say that is just it come like unless he.
Oh, Moresca? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me rephrase that. Unless he really seriously gains Moresca's trust, like I don't think he will. Just because
Right,
like
if you mean that way,
Tosin,
I agree.
Tosin just seems to be his like when it comes to centre back, he's his break glass in case of emergency. Centre back, like whenever he just needs to play a centre back that isn't Colwill or like Fofana when he's fit, it's Tosin. It's always Tosin. Like the only times it wasn't was when he wasn't really like fit or whatever, and then we saw Chalama.
this is kind of shameless to put Vitinha and Tosin in the same fucking sentence, but we'll just run with it. Only Vitinha, 117.7, is registered more successful passes per game than Tosin. Adarabayo, 111.5 during the Club World Cup so far. He's been pretty solid lately, as far as I can remember. Are we still? I mean, where do we stand on Tosin? Because I do recall there was a point in time where we were thinking, just get rid of the guy, sell him. And now I'm more of like, okay, well, if he keeps being consistent, then why not? Let's give him another. I'm thinking give him another season to see what he can do. If he's better established now in the team, you know. I don't know if you guys feel differently.
Shout
what do you
out
feel
Unk,
about his
man.
performance yesterday?
He was really
Also,
solid.
Cole Palmer's hilarious, by the way. Just clapping him.
Yeah, he's such a dickhead, bro. He's like they're just
I'm not gonna say
like a ministry.
What I'm gonna say is that probably another season as a backup against the lower spot teams, and that's pretty much it.
Ahmed, are you speculating? Are you speculating or like what is this?
That's not speculating. Again, I'm just giving an opinion.
Yeah, I know. I can't lie.
I got asked a question, and I just gave an answer. That I didn't speculate at all. I did not speculate at all.
You did speculate.
Speculation means I'm speculating as to regards to the future of a player. In this
you
case,
speculate.
I'm not.
You said, hang on. You said one more season, and he's probably going to be gone.
In this case, I was not speculating at all. I was asked a direct question: should we keep him for the season or not? Not whether or not this will happen. I'm giving my opinion in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. He had the armband at one point.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was a captain.
Regardless, man.
He might have been one of the oldest players on the pitch, or the oldest for us.
Shout out on, man. Shout out on.
What I do gotta say though is, listen, I don't mind it. I think out of the awful, disgusting, horrendous summer window that we had, he was one of the few positives. Which I think nobody expected at the beginning. But
free, so yeah,
he's been solid. Like, yeah, he's been free. Like, he's definitely one of the vibes guys in the locker room. They all love him, and he's not totally shit. So I can't be too upset about it. Like,
he might be the, as of right now, because then I think for like one or two of the players it may change, but for this current moment in time, he's the only positive out of the window.
I mean, Neto was who I was talking. No, Neto right now is not.
Neto's a question mark. Yeah, Neto's a question mark.
Neto's not a positive out of that window. We spent 62 million, and he's not been a 62 million.
It's not a positive. It's still a question mark. It's still up in the
air. He was one I was talking about when I said could be. Like, Neto could be a positive in with time. But if we're talking right now, no, he was not a positive coming out of that window.
Yeah,
but Tosin was.
Yeah, Tosin's great. I don't mind it, bro. This is like Tosin is the type of player that every team wants their squad players to be.
Yeah, what I like about Tosin too is his physicality and obviously his height, right? Like, it helped us yesterday for sure. I think part of the game plan in yesterday's game, which is why Benoit started and why Tosin started, was those set pieces. And by the way, we'll talk on Enzo as well, but Enzo on set pieces is now looking to be like a consistent thing now, which we need it to be. But in terms of having Tosin and Benoit as height, listen, he scored a goal that way. He scored a goal being that height player, and it was really awesome too, because seeing it live now, it's such a game changer. Like, I wish I could see these games live more often, but you see, like, Tosin was being smart for that set piece, and I'm looking at him, I was like, bro, you're offside. can you please get onside? Can you please get onside? And he was dragging the defender to create some space, and goes back in just enough to get ahead of the defender and sees the other defender that's off his line, and has a clear header that he can, ends up getting the goal. So I think he's becoming a really intelligent player in the offensive portion of his game as well. Like I've been liking it, and I wouldn't mind if he stays. Obviously, we got him on a free. I don't know. People were pretty quick to want to sell him not too long ago.
Marshall, I'm going to be honest. I think he stays at this club longer than Fofana.
Yeah.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see it.
I think Fofana is gone after this season if he doesn't start enough.
Mm-hmm.
And also depending on
just describing what I saw EPL.
I also think depending on the development.
Let's see how he does against UCL. Let's see how he does against the UCL, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Sarr develops how they hope he develops, then Fofana's gone.
Yeah, of course, bro. I mean, it's unfortunate that he's injured because we can't sell him. He won't pass any single medical.
Nope.
But I think they're probably.
It's a lot of speculation there from RSM. How do we not know? How do we not know a team?
Yeah, but guess what? But guess what? I never said I wasn't speculating, dickhead. You're the one who's like, I won't speculate on anything. That's not me. That's you.
Let's not speculate.
That's not me. That's you. I can speculate all I want.
Let's not speculate.
Listen, fuck it. I might start, bro. I might start a gossip blog. I'll speculate all the fuck I want. I never said I wasn't going to. You're the one who drew that line in the sand, not me.
Listen, I'm just making that point, man. Let's not speculate on stuff that we don't know about. So.
No. You don't speculate. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want to.
I'm just asking. I'm just saying we can't speculate on whether or not he's gonna pass a medical or not because we don't know if that's gonna be happen. So until we see it happen, there's no need for us to do these Bandulu stuff.
He just came off an ACL. He's not passing a medical, bro. What are we doing here?
Never mind the ACL, bro. His knees are so cooked and his hamstrings are so cooked.
Yeah.
He passed the medical at Chelsea, so he should be able to.
He just came off surgery. He just had the same surgery reset. He's not passing a medical, bro. Give it up, man.
He may not.
Oh, is that speculation? He may or may not. Is that speculation?
May
You see what I'm saying? He may not, may not.
Give him a yellow. Yup, thank you. Yup.
Yeah, speculation.
From next one's sending off, man. That sounded like speculation.
That's just a foul. No yellow card. That's just a foul.
Yeah,
Didn't even speculate that. I just said,
that was speculation.
as
he
you
may
said,
or may not sounds like a speculation to me.
If you listen to the full sentence, he may or may not. That is speculation. But I'm just gonna say, let's see what happens. Please, let's not do that.
Let's see what happens. Also sounds oddly.
That's not speculation at all. That's just
speculation.
I'm waiting to see what happens. That's because I'm not speculating. I'm waiting to see what happens before I make a comment. Keyword.
Okay. Don't forget, he also speculated Jackson getting sold this summer, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so dead.
But anyway,
this gimmick, it's so old, so quickly.
Yeah, it's a weird gimmick.
Right?
Okay.
It worked for a week, and then I'm like, so I'm so done with.
You can't talk about any transfer news because he's like, I won't speculate. Yeah. Okay, then, bro. I don't want. By the way, I don't want to see any for the rest of the season. No match previews because we don't speculate on what a match might be. No match previews.
Yeah. I'm not speculating on predictions at all. I'm just gonna be telling you the injury news.
No UCL preview. No UCL preview. No.
Wait, is this the thing?
Listen. I'm just gonna be honest. The Bridge Nation does as follow. Whenever I have a preview, any injury reports, what people have speculated, I'll report. But I will not speculate myself.
That's nice.
We will be there.
Dead.
When you do,
you know what's crazy though?
Who will be there? Do you care though? Who will be there?
I appreciate you for your tough, man. Real commenter right there. That's right there, man.
Still hot. 30 degrees.
Yeah, the one man riot, man.
The one man riot.
At least you have an AC.
Hey, listen.
I mean, about to be CB in that one protest, bro. One man protest. I hear it.
Yo, big up CB, bro. He's been chill to me, bro. I didn't actually get to hang with him yesterday. I don't know
but of course, bro. Like we already confirmed, fake demons.
Fake.
It's fake demons. You saw him and Jimmy were going at each other in person. I mean, online.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all Chelsea
fake demons.
Noticing.
I keep my energy the same, bro. I'll tell somebody to their face, straight up, I don't like you. That's it.
Exactly.
I'll be cordial.
That's
I won't be rude.
I said to chat, hey, in the beginning of the stream, chat, I told you guys being disrespectful cunts. Don't be talking like that to me in person. I'll slap you like Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Yeah, whatever that department is, because we had the
CP and meat. CP, you know me.
Oh.
month meeting today.
TP, you're not on me.
Yeah, oh, take him out.
So
He's having a little work meeting, bro. He's having a little work call.
You should take him out.
Remove him. Yeah, you to remove him.
CIA, FBI stuff, man. Secret,
Might be
secret
saying
intelligence.
You know what it is. You know what?
National intelligence.
You know what it is. Can I ask? Listen, can I ask a question? It's about actually. This is not speculatory
Ask
at
a question.
all.
All right, ask
It's
a
about
question.
actually the kits, innit? You know what I mean? I'll be honest.
W.
This is my opinion. Yeah, away kit is better than the home kit, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
I like
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah,
Actually, do I agree?
agreed.
Wait,
I think I
really?
agree,
Like, think
yeah.
about it?
Bro, I'm telling you,
The away
that
kits are
home
nice.
kit. I'm waiting for the sponsor though. I need to know the sponsor, bro. Please get us
I'm gonna get
a
this
nice
kit
little
before the
Qatar
sponsor
Airways
comes out.
or Riyadh something, bro. I need a nice sponsor
Yeah.
on that kit.
I'm definitely
Jordan
getting
out
this
the
kit
door
before the
completely,
sponsor
man. We
comes out.
finally got Champions League football.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
Jordan's
gonna
finished.
wait
Me
till
too.
I'm gonna
Damn.
get this kit before the sponsor comes out.
We finally got
That's a nice
Champions League
kit.
football. They couldn't wait a little bit
I'm
longer.
gonna do Club
I love
World
that
Cup.
kit.
Reece James. in
No,
the
but I'll
back,
be
Chris, just for
based
you.
on what like
Who
based
should I
on
get
my
on the back?
understanding with
Right.
based on what I understand with the Jordan
Reece.
thing, like from
With the
like
lettering?
I have 3 V's, bro.
I really wanted it, man.
I can't get another.
Based on my understanding,
I
aka
can't get another,
speculation.
bro.
Bro, there
How
are
many
people
shit?
at that yo, Ahmed's gonna appreciate. You know what I saw at the stadium yesterday? I saw the Saucy kit, bro.
I told you, the Saucy has the streets. I told you this. I'm seeing the Saucy shirts.
Who
The
told him
summer
to get
Number
the
2,
Saucy
the
shirt?
Saucy.
Excel,
Who told him
the
to
brick,
get
the Saucy. He has the streets.
And I
My
saw
boy, the Saucy has the
overinflated N'Golo
streets.
Kante, bro. Saw a
And
few
the
of those
Saucy
guys.
has the Charles streets. You know what I mean? He's the streets, not one forget.
Nah,
Bro,
someone,
like,
want- someone,
Hey,
someone
Bro,
liked that
imagine
shirt.
pulling up, bro. Imagine going to the mega store online. You see the extra charge for the kit, and you're like, you know who I'm gonna pay the extra charge for? The
The
Saucy.
Saucy. Do it, man.
It's so cooked. It's so cooked, bro.
That's what I'm
You know
saying,
what?
guys. I
Before
couldn't
he
believe
leaves
I
the
saw
club,
the Saucy,
before
bro.
he leaves, I'm
Of all
getting the Saucy
players.
shirt too. Before he leaves, I'm getting the Saucy
Why?
shirt too.
He's not a
The
legend.
new
Oh, you're
kid.
so cooked.
Listen,
It's so cooked.
Hey, he's a personality.
What
Bro.
happens
Brick.
when you invite girls in your place? You get a takeaway, you get a non-doors.
I don't hate the Saucy as a
He's a
person.
legend.
No,
It's just
like,
like-
great. Bro.
As
You
a
know what I mean?
player.
You see
As a
like
footballer.
this, man. We got guys that are doing gimmicks for Stand FC. You know what I mean? My opinions, yeah, not speculation. My opinions on players, yeah. I always respect them. You know what I mean? Even the
Yo,
ones
you know
that
what? Kalis ain't wrong. He has been living off that crowd celebration.
You
Please
respect
get
your
the crowd
players,
on that.
huh?
yes, even the ones that have
You
suspected.
even
even the ones
your
that
players. Let's go back to memory.
Yes. Listen, even
Okay.
the ones. Yeah, listen, Chris, I haven't finished. Even the ones that,
Disrespectful.
even the ones that have disrespected, I have gained respect for, and I am respectful.
Reece James's
respectful.
injuries.
Listen, you know, Reece James as of right now, he's beaten the case.
Where
there's still
were
another season
you
left.
when using the
There's still another
down?
season
For
left.
his surgeries and his injuries, he was
He's still
disrespectful.
on the season. Yeah, listen.
What, you a new man?
Because I stand by that. I was doing that, and I am still waiting to see what happens. I'm still waiting to see what happens.
Enzo disrespect.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Enzo, we listen.
Don't.
He's not beating the case yet. He's not beating the case yet. I'll be honest.
I can't lie. Enzo with the game yesterday, like just touching on Enzo, he is starting, and some people are gonna like saying this. He's starting to get a whiff of the Bruno Fernandez about him.
I'm sorry, Scott. Sorry. I'm sorry, Scott. Yeah. Every day
Why
it's
are
you
you
rate
giving
Bump
him
Cola
ammunition,
and
Scott?
tell us about ball
Why
knowledge.
are you giving
Ray
him
Allen, what ball knowledge do you have, bro? Huh?
God,
What fucking
sometimes
ball
you're
knowledge
letting your
do you
progress,
have?
know that, right?
Why is he
What is
crashing
it,
out?
Ray
What's
Allen?
happening?
What fucking ball knowledge do you have, mate? Okay, you don't have no ball knowledge. So how about you go and shut the fuck up, mate? You know what I mean? How about that, mate? You know what I mean? How about that? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Always
God,
chatting
bro.
shit about Bumcola. And Bumcola is the same player that buying fucking Munich here.
Over a
is
massive
targeting
tackle.
right now. You know what I mean? So please have some
Bumcola.
shame, have some respect here, and have some fucking class, mate. You know what I mean? Sorry,
All
Bro,
right,
lost
that
his
being
head.
said, that was a shin breaker. That was a shin breaker. I have to put you back there for a little
was a
bit, bro.
Jackson challenge.
Calma.
There's a Jackson challenge.
That was a Jackson challenge, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, go on.
like I said, Enzo Fernandez is getting a whiff of the Bruno Fernandez
I'll let you
vibe,
back in
and
a
what I
second,
mean by
Alvin.
that is like he can have a pretty nothing game, and then just come out with a piece of brilliance of like
2GA.
yeah, like he was doing nothing. There's a square root of jack shit in that first half, and then puts a perfect free kick in. It's like okay, cool, fair enough.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. That is still not a bad thing to have, though. Because I
No, it's not
I don't know.
entirely,
Bruno's
it's just-
pretty good for Man United, I think, still. But Yeah,
if he can like turn that into like being kind of what Bruno is, because I don't rate Bruno massively, but the one thing he does have that I do rate is that like clutch moment, that like being the winner or pulling his team when he needs it. If Enzo can have that for us, like even if it like yesterday, for example, even if he is playing a bit crap, not really doing much, if he can have that moment of like I said, he puts that free kick in, we get the opener, he puts that pass into Delap, we get the second goal. If he can have those moments, despite not playing that well, I'm fine, cool. Because it was the same thing I said about Sterling when he was here, when he was scoring regularly. Like, I don't really care if he plays like shit. If he scores every game, that's 38 goals. Like, if Enzo does that every game, he's going to end up with mad GNA, and that GNA is going to hopefully lead us to top 4 or challenge titles. So that's cool.
And you know what the difference is, though? If he does get the Bruno Fernandez, I don't mind it, because the people that we have, if we surround them with quality, it doesn't matter. The reason why that sucks
100%.
for United is because when he's being trash,
do a lot of it, though.
nobody else can pick it up around him.
That's true.
100%. And the thing that I noticed as well about Enzo is Enzo is not necessarily a confidence player, but he does have that thing of like when he starts to get comfortable, when a good moment happens for him, there is seemingly that thing inside his head, or it looks like that thing of like, okay, like I've got this now. So like I said, he wasn't really doing anything up until he got that assist. The moment after he gets that assist, everything from him getting that assist was very good.
Yeah, it was better.
But are you not creating a problem? Yeah, in the sense that let's use Bruno. I'm gonna use Bruno track record. I'm gonna speak about Bruno specifically. Yeah, one of the big things that a lot of people talk about when they speak about Bruno is that he's a GNA merchant. Right, everything else that he does below par. Right, so are you basically just asking? Are you just basically not asking for the same thing, right, from Enzo? If that makes sense. All you're saying, let's get GNA. You may not perform well, but you know the thing that's saving you and means that you're doing well is just GNA, right? Because for me, the reason why I say that is that I don't like that basically, because I think for me this day and age, I think it's a bit more about balance, bro. I want you to be having a consistent, like maybe it's 8 out of 10 performance, and then try. It's not. I'm not always asking for GNA every single game because I know that's not possible for me. No. As long as you're hoping for the team, I think that's much better. I think that's okay in my personal opinion.
Oh man, I get you, and like I agree in terms of like there are times when that annoys me when it comes to players, like they do just get DNA and they just put in shit performances time after time after time.
That was an online martial
but it's more for me. The reason I don't mind it as such is for 2 reasons. Number one, like RSM said, as long as you can surround them by players that are going to perform, depending on the level of team we're facing, it's not too much of an issue. I think the other thing is like I don't mind it as much at the moment in terms of. Because he is sometimes performing in terms of, like I mentioned, when he did get that assist, all of a sudden something seems to shift. Like he got more confident. I don't think it's a confidence thing, but I can't think of a good comment. He got a confident. He started to get more confident in the game and things like that. But also, like at the end of the day, like you look at the game yesterday. Like I said, I thought he had a pretty bad first half, but came away with 2 assists. So like. You can't really hate that as much. Like he came away with 2 assists.
But again, it's coming back to the Fernandez dichotomy, right? That we just spoke about. That's the problem.
But that's the thing. Like I'm not a big fan of this comparison to Bruno because I do think what Enzo does for the team is it's more calculated.
No, I agree. I think when I made that comparison, it's not them as players. It's more that part of them in terms of.
I kind of want to distinguish that because I feel like some people in chat.
No. He is a much better player. He's a much better player than Bruno Fernandez. I'll say that outright. Mm-hmm. It was more a case of like I said, he is there. Games, there are. I've been noticing, and it's more prominent last season. This just comes with him getting more goals and assists and box crashing a bit more. He'll have games where he can be, let's say, like a 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of his performance, but he still manages to get a goal or an assist. Kind of like Bruno. Like Bruno can have absolutely awful games. He can end up scamming a goal or an assist just because, like Axe says, he like spams about 1 million crosses a game.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want it to happen.
But Enzo doesn't do that, is what I say. Enzo doesn't spam in the same way. So
we're not talking about.
But in terms of real quick though, like in terms of like Enzo, like the bad, and this is just this case, right? In just this case alone, the bad performance that Enzo had yesterday. Well, and it wasn't even that bad a performance, and I'll explain why. Versus what Bruno does. Like I feel like when you see Bruno have shit performances, it's heavy touches, giving away the ball ridiculously, you know, trying to create chances into space and the players just aren't there, and just spam ball and grenade ball like we've seen, right? In comparison to Enzo Fernandez yesterday, though, what happened from what I was seeing is they were just heavily man-marking the fuck out of him. They weren't letting him breathe. They weren't letting him. They were pretty much suppressing the creative outlet in the midfield in marking Enzo out of the game. So what Enzo essentially did, it made it so that Enzo wasn't as involved in the game. And when what he did do was try to like create the space, at least to drag the marker out, to create space in the midfield for a Lavia or for a pass through the middle to a Madueke or a Gusto or so on and so forth. Then the second half, like you guys said, like he got a little bit more involved in the game before he was taken out. But you know, it's two different types of bad performances. You know what I'm saying? Like, one is more of a tactical bad performance, where the other one's just the player's not playing well. He's just doing stupid things.
Oh, you know, 100%. That's why Marshall, I said, like, for example, the Flamengo game, I thought Enzo had a bad game, but it wasn't his fault. That was a tactical thing. We just kept bypassing the midfield, or bypassing him, and, like, him and Palmer at times specifically, of like, he had a bad game, but that's mostly because he was invisible, because he wasn't getting the ball, because that was a tactical thing of like,
we should be demanding for the ball, then, if that's the case, no? Should you not be demanding for the ball if he's not getting the ball? Because technically,
I mean, it depends. No, I think he does. But I think it depends. I think it depends where on the pitch, like, he demands the ball. Because like,
he can demand the ball all you want.
Well,
but
he,
a player on you, like,
we call him a deep line playmaker, so he can demand the ball there.
He's not a
He's
deep
you know what I mean? Under Moresca and under Poch, he's vastly improved. You know, in the second phase of play, so you know he can keep demandable when he's in the second phase of play. You know, and also in the third phase of play, you know, he can get an assist there every now and then. So you know, I think this argument's a bit invalid in my personal opinion.
Does anyone understand what the hell you even said?
Yes, I did.
No.
There's 3 phases of play, right? The first phase of play, we know he can
really
dictate.
Understanding your point.
The first phase of play, he can easily dictate. So he can ask for a ball somewhere in the 6 role. He can ask for the ball somewhere in the 8 role, and he can ask for the ball somewhere in the 10 role because he can do a bit of everything, right? So I don't know what that's.
But if you ask for the ball, even though you have a man on you, is it wise to always pass the ball
talking
to that
about
person?
I'm talking about when he's open. That's the key difference.
But he wasn't open that often yesterday. That's the thing. He was being
first
half he was being man marked.
No. Flamenco. We're talking about Flamenco game.
Oh, Flamengo.
That's what I was talking about, bro.
Yeah. Flamengo. Like I was saying, he didn't.
Flamengo, I was trying to survive, bro. I was trying my best to pay attention to the game, but I was more.
Hold that Marshall, man.
Yeah, she was crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. Marshall. See,
Marshall's
gone to more losses of Chelsea games than me. I've gone to 0 Chelsea losses, bro. I have a record of no losses when Chelsea played. You know what I mean? Hold that, Marshall. My second one. Listen, obviously, I'm not going to speculate at all here, but what I will say is that what I will say. Listen, Enzo. Listen, let's see what happens there, man. Let's see what happens there.
You made him upset.
Let's talk about Noni. Is the criticism of Noni last night merited?
Yes.
Yes, it is, bro. He was playing.
You know what it is?
bro.
I think it, Marshall. Do you know what the thing with Noni is? I've realized. I think the criticism with Noni, or just judging his performances, I think depends on how you view him as a player. I'm gonna be so honest. Like, if you view him in the eyes of he's just a squad player at best, he's an okay player. Like, he had a decent game yesterday. If you view him as he's got to be our starting winger going into a season where I want a title challenge, it was a bad performance. It was a bad performance, because this idea he got double marked so many times, and he keeps doing this, by the way. And I don't know who it was. Was it RSM? Was it Joey? Someone said this, and I cannot not notice this now. There are so many times where he's double marked because he puts his foot on the ball and slows down the play and invites a second defender. So, like, people can say, "Oh, he gets double marked," because I've defended him because the double marking last season a lot, and like under Poch as well. But I'm noticing it now, and it was like yesterday I noticed it as well, and I think it was the same against LAFC. Definitely, I don't know about the Flamengo game. So many times in the game yesterday, he's putting his foot on the ball, and inviting a second defender, it's like, okay, cool. Now I've got to play it backwards. When bro, like,
Yes.
there were a couple of times he beat the guy on the dribble. Like, there was one moment he beat the guy on the dribble, and just the final ball was a bit shit. But it's like, cool, do that more. Beat the guy, then maybe you put a better ball in. But it's like there's so many times where he puts his foot on the ball. And it's the same with Sancho. Put your foot on the ball, and Neto does it as well. Actually, at times, but it's put your foot on the ball, invite a second guy over, and it's like that's a waste of time because then it just goes backwards. Like, I think I understand the reason for it, but the reason for it doesn't work, so there's no point doing it. I think it's the same reason that, you know, our centre-backs, like, they don't really do it as much anymore, but they put their foot on the ball to invite pressure and then play it into the space that's vacated. I think it's for that. I think it's for a runner to go into the space that's vacated by the second defender coming out to double mark it. But it doesn't work because we play so slowly in the final third at times, and no one enters that space.
But
that's
the
vacated.
issue is, like, bro, it's not even necessarily that. I would say, like, on occasions, yeah, but most of the times, like, it would be like a good cross, right, across the field. Like, Nani's in space, he's one-on-one, he has miles to run into, he runs a bit, like, just outside of the box and then steps on the ball. And at that point, like, brother, you are already in a one-on-one, right? You're not going to get 2 to 3 minutes of a one-on-one. Like, within 5 seconds, support is getting there. That's my issue. And yeah, and I did mention that. Yeah, like, he constantly gets doubled up on because when he is on the one-on-one situation, he takes too long to actually exploit it. Puts his foot on the ball, waits, and that's it. You're in a 2v2. And whatever space you could have ran into, it's over. When he does do it, it looks good because, again, the system is putting Neto and Madueke in these positions consistently. They're consistently finding themselves one-on-one, able to run at their man, but they always get to the edge of the box, step on the ball, and kill it. It's like
all right.
jarring.
It's like I said,
I'm gonna have to
can't
step in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna step in here a little bit here because, again, I think for me when it comes to Madueke, I think it's unfair for him to be criticized when he's playing essentially in a position that is not really his position. If we're being honest, guys, right? Left wing is not his position. I think at the end of the day, he's doing a job there. That's the thing I always come back to, right? It's not really like, you know, a spot that works for him per se. Like, his spot is right wing. Obviously, we had to play KDH there because he wanted to give a rest to, I would assume, Caicedo at the time, right? And Palmer, right? So essentially, that's kind of the problem we've got with Madueke, in my honest opinion.
I mean,
Hold up, brother. I'm speaking on the whole season. I'm not even talking about just this game or just when he plays
No.
left
I'm
wing.
talking about this game specifically because I was talking about this game. I wasn't even talking about the season.
No, but yeah, no. I agree. Like, on left wing, I can't really say too much because I agree with you. It's out of position. But the issues with decision making and the rest, it
I'm just gonna be
whatever side of the wing he's on.
He can't.
Again, for me, it's about with him. Listen, he's on the market. People are shopping. We're shopping him about. It looks like, and as such, I don't think this is helping our case. I'll be real.
I just don't think he can start for us next season. Even if he's here, he can't start for us.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, next season, okay, this is Bridge Nation speculating. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of an advocacy period here. If Garnacho,
I'm not giving you. How about I won't give you the grace.
So if Gittins is obviously gonna come in, right? This is speculating that Gittins comes in. You got Gittins. You probably have Delap, in my personal opinion.
Speculation counter.
Right, you know what I mean? Delap obviously is gonna be there. Do you say that Neto is gonna be the starting right winger next season?
What I will say is this: listen, if we lose Madueke, snatch Fofana for the 5 M's from Leon, bro.
Yep.
No, but we know what's gonna happen. There's not gonna be Milik Fofana that's gonna come in. Probably gonna be Kudus. I think that's probably gonna be.
To be fair, you know what? To be fair, that's fine.
Yes,
fine. But yeah. So listen, I don't really. We'll see what happens. My opinions on him will remain neutral. I will not speak about opinions of players. But essentially, it's gonna probably be something of the sort of like maybe a Kudus or a Neto. Don Jackson, my apologies. Maybe a Delap or a Kitike if that guy comes in, right? Or Delap or Jackson up front, and then you obviously would have Gittins as a starting.
But to an extent, guys, do you also feel that, like, unless Nani gets a goal or an assist, it's always going to be just thrown into the bin of, like, not good enough, needs to do better, you know, sell him on, not effective? Because to an extent, like, watching that game yesterday, and I agree with what you guys are saying, sometimes he does hold up the play, and sometimes he actually is effective. Like I feel like he's doing what is being asked of him, which is stretch out the defense, go wide, try to beat a man or hold on to the possession, recycle until there's an opportunity. You know, I've been watching this tournament, and you know, you guys have been, barring Ahmed, have been watching the tournament, and you see Esteval and Palmeiras. Now, I think Esteval's a better player, right? When he comes to Chelsea, we'll see if that still stands. But as of right now, what I'm seeing, I think Esteval's a better player. But he's also not been getting goals and assists. He has been creating chances. We've seen it. But it's like, I feel like his game isn't that much different. I feel like it's a sharper and more effective version of Noni's,
it's
but I don't feel like it's very, very different.
It's definitely better. I think the issue with Noni, and actually this is the case with all of our wingers. I think,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
unfortunately,
really.
I say all of our wingers. I'm just going to speak about the two because for George it's different. I think like he's just young. Like you can obviously see that he's raw. Like he did have a great cameo against LAFC. It was better yesterday. But if I'm just talking about the two wings we've got, I think it's the same. And it was the same when Sancho was here. Of unfortunately, they have to get a goal and assist pretty much to have good games most of the time because they don't do much else outside of that. Like Neto last season, most of the positives came from his crossing. Outside of that, in terms of dribbling, it's mostly in space when he has some like space to run into, which we don't play with more often than not. And with Noni, it's like that he doesn't, with what me and RSM spoke about in terms of the dribbling, he doesn't do that enough and cause enough issues in terms of creating chaos in attack a lot of the time. So with him, it's a case like he kind of has to get a goal or an assist because otherwise he's not doing much else. And unfortunately, that's just the wingers we're looking at. Like you look at, for example, Esteval. Like I watched him in all 3 games, I think, and he got slightly worse as the tournament went on. I think his best game was the Porto game, but like let's go to the Porto game. Actually, in that game, it's like he's creating chaos, he's causing issues for the defenders, he's having to be double and triple marked and still beating them on the dribble. Like he's creating space for his teammates. Like he's doing so much more despite not getting a goal or getting an assist.
Sure.
In the game, and it's like it's the same with Elise as well when he comes on. I'm trying to think who else I watched in the tournament that was doing the same. Mastantuono, who I don't even think is an even winger. I thought he's a number 10. Is doing the same thing. He's. I hate to use this term, and I've used it a couple of times, but I can't think of a better. So just causing chaos for the other team's defenders, and like it's making them like have to make split decisions and whatnot. I'm trying to think like, and he's just not doing that. And I look at the other teams I've watched as well. He just doesn't do that, and like any of our wingers don't really do that, and that's unfortunately the situation we've got with our wingers. Like hopefully when Esteval comes in, obviously not straight away, but when he's eventually playing, hopefully he becomes that. And like hopefully Gittins is that. I'm hoping upon hope that he is because I don't particularly rate him, but hopefully he can like do the stuff we're missing in terms of he can still have a good game despite not getting a goal and assist. But like
in terms of causing chaos, like I know what you're talking about, and you're absolutely right. Like Esteval, you see in that Porto game, for example, like it was just mayhem. Like he was such a problem and a nuisance for them. Even though he didn't get GA out of the game, he was still causing them so many issues. And same thing with Elise, right? Like Elise does that to players all the time. I would say like, and this is the thing this is why I do like Noni. Because I have seen games where he has done that, right? I have seen games where he is causing mayhem and he's, on the right-hand side and he's going inside and all of a sudden he's one-on-one with the keeper and then he passes into the box and no one's putting it away and stuff like that. Like I've seen him cause chaos. And I know right now he's not up to snuff. But of all of our wingers now, which is why we need to go and get wingers, Esteval, Gittins, or Malik Fofana, I like because he's a player that I've seen cause chaos, like you're saying. In terms of the wingers that we have, he's really the only one that I see, of the current wingers we have, I should say, that has the capability of causing chaos. But for whatever reason, it's that decision making that hasn't been there, or that sharpness or that instinct that it hasn't been there for a bit now. So I don't know. I also feel that causing chaos trait that you're talking about, it's also really hard to find. Like I also genuinely feel like there's so few players that every game they play, they're causing chaos. Like the players like that I can think of, like Neymar's of the world or Lamine Yamal's of the world, like there's just so far and few that can do that. Even Leao's not doing that anymore.
No, but Marshall, and I think this is why, even though I don't rate him, I understand the logic behind getting Gittins. What do both of those guys you just mentioned, Neymar and Yamal, have in common? And the reason why they can cause chaos, and the reason why Esteban can do it, and the reason why like Leao could do it when he was in like on form, and I'm trying to think of Elise. It's because in terms of dribbling and close control, it's not. Like, you look at the wingers we've got. Sancho was meant to be that, but it just like he just wasn't. Whatever the reason was, he just wasn't able to handle the. I get not necessarily physicality of the Prem, but just like the intensity of it. Maybe Neto is not that guy in terms of dribbling. Just not that guy. Especially not in a deep block system. And Noni's never really been that. He's probably the best dribbler we've got, but it's not to that level. Yeah, like you look at the Kvaras, Dembele's that people are mentioning, even Ahmed's going to like this one, even Barcola's, Doué's, those kind of guys. Like, in terms of actual dribbling, that's why they can cause that chaos.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Yeah? We had chaos at our club at one point in time, either, right? We had a guy that could cause chaos for us because he couldn't do his job out front. You know what I'm talking about right, when I say that? A guy that used to cause chaos, so we had to shift him to the wing because he couldn't do his job up front. Thank you, them Werner.
Are you talking about Werner?
Timo Werner legit was what we are talking about here. Where
Werner's a different kind of chaos, because I saw someone mention Garnacho. Maybe I need to be more clear with the chaos. I'm not talking about chaos just in terms of like.
I think what you're talking about. Listen. I think what you're talking about, guys that can dribble, that can create. Those type of guys. You're talking about guys that are able to create the chaos because
literally
they're
what Lamine Yamal did to Marco in Champions League.
They're able to dribble, right? That's what I'm talking about, right? I think that's what you're talking about. I think those guys, they're not. I don't think they're a dime a dozen. I think the problem is we don't have guys. We have a lot of guys here that are not at the stage of decision making. That's the problem that we've got, right? The decision making aspect is where a lot of these guys are failing, right? A lot of these guys, they can dribble, they can beat their man, they can do all of that lovely jubbly stuff. But the problem that we've got now is that when it then comes to, it's like the Telltale. If you play Telltale or like Life is Strange, you know what I mean? You've done the move set. It's now A or B. We're choosing the wrong decision every single time. That's the problem that we've got.
I think that is a part of it as well. It is the decision making for Noni. Like he can cause that chaos, and then when he gets himself in that position of like, do I shoot or do I pass? It's usually the wrong decision. Or do I hold on to the ball?
That's always been Noni's issue. We've all that's what we hoped.
But he's got to get better at that.
But that's what we hoped this season was going to be the thing for him, where he was going to be able to do that. But the problem was he didn't. It hasn't necessarily worked out that way.
I'm not having the CFC for life. Noni is our best dribbler.
Neto is another one.
Noni causes chaos. There's a reason he gets marked.
Neto is another one as well, where he's essentially also like. Also had a season where his decision making hasn't been great either. So
that's true.
Right, and so the problem again that comes back to, right, as I've had before, on a personal level, the guys that we are targeting do not have that even. Gittins, great dribbler, can do everything like that, but he's still raw in terms of decision making. Okay, he doesn't get that right all the time, right? Kudus does not always get it right. He's a great dribbler, insane dribbler. Is not what the thing of like making the correct decision every 8 to 9 times out of 10. Same with like some of these other alleged or rumored speculated targets. Yeah, Yildiz. Yildiz is an exception probably to the rule. I'd probably say in terms of like decision making, he's got a much better decision making than some of the guys that we've got. Morgan Rogers has shown that he has a good decision making abilities, right? At Aston Villa, right? But that's the problem. That's what I'm coming back to. Like, we're not even trying to target the guys that have that second aspect at all. All we're looking at, and I said this statistically, the way the club looks at stuff is, what's it called? Yeah, take-ons per 90 and successful take-ons per 90, bro. And then carries per 92.
We're also looking for shots though, because we already did that, and we ended up with Neto, and we were happy with Madueke, and then we realized these brothers aren't taking enough shots on goal.
And so essentially, all those stuff that we're talking about here is what we're looking at, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys or what you've seen from Madueke that makes you think he's not a good dribbler. He is a good dribbler. He's our best. I still hold that he's our best dribbler in this team.
I mean,
He's probably up there with Sancho. But again, it's the decision-making aspect of his game where it just fails. Like, you know, he's not just running and he's not just kicking the ball and running into space. Like, that's what Timo did. Like, let's not be disrespectful to Noni either. Like, Noni on a 1v1 will cook you. Like, and he has done it. Like, we've seen him do it multiple times. But this season, it's just double man mark. When he does do it, it doesn't lead to anything. It's yeah, we'll see. In terms of him too leaving the club, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. If there's a good price for them, sure. But like, we need to get other dribblers I mean, other wingers as well. Is Gittins gonna be better?
Kudus. What about Kudus though?
Kudus, I wouldn't mind. I mean, Kudus, like he's a good player. Like,
Can I ask
there
you
are
guys
good
a
players
question?
out there.
Yeah,
Sure.
what's up?
Let's say we get Kudus and Gittins. Who
Okay.
plays where in your mind? Like, what's the
Gittins is
hierarchy
left,
for
Kudus
wingers?
would be right, no?
Yeah, I agree. But then I'm trying to, like, where does everyone else fit in this?
Who, like Neto?
Yeah, like
That's
Neto,
the only one I can
Probably
think
right.
of.
rotation.
Estevao.
I think Steva, I already said too, I think Steva can't play the wing, but he wants to play 10. And if we don't get a backup to Palmer in the 10, then that's just on me. We're already giving Steva the 10. A backup 10 at least.
I don't mind that. So then what? So who's backup? So what? Noni's the backup left winger. Neto's the backup right winger.
Neto can.
And then Neto can play both sides as well. And then you could have Tyreek George. Maybe
To be
not going
fair,
on,
I think
maybe the Gittins
Neto
backup.
Neto has a shout to actually start. Like, he can compete.
Then he's got to play left wing, and then Madueke would have to be backup right wing, and Gittins would
I-
start.
I
I
thought
don't
you were saying
mind.
if Madueke, I thought you were saying if Madueke gets sold, because that's in
Oh no, if
opinion,
Madueke gets sold, then it's like, yeah, then Esteval's the backup right winger, and then
Yeah.
Gittins is the backup left winger. You'd
No, I
assume.
was gonna
But
say
yeah.
like let's say like Madueke leaves, right? Then we get Kudus in.
So what then?
Madueke
Yeah, then
leaves,
have to be
get
Neto on
Kudus
the
in.
left hand side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Gittins would come in, and I think he'd be a backup. But
Spending 65 M's on a backup. Where have I seen this before?
bro, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. As long as it's not fucking Garnacho, please. In terms of, I saw this comment before. Did I miss something?
Nah, he was
Is
good.
there a reason to speak on Lavia? I'm pretty sure it was like a Lavia-esque performance. Like, you know, it was decent. You know, it wasn't a problem. Did what he had to do. Like, did I miss something?
That's what I'm
Was he
asking you,
shit?
mate.
No, he was
Lavia
good.
was
Like,
bad.
yeah, he was good. Like, I don't really understand what the
Problem is, yeah.
what the problem
Yeah,
is.
I don't know why they wanted to speak on why this was asked for to speak on
All
Lavia.
caps
I mean,
as well.
yeah, it's like speak on
It's
Lavia.
because
Like, what did
I
you
noticed he put the comment in a few times about Lavia.
do? Yeah, earlier in the stream, I didn't want to forget it, but now we're at this conclusion point, or almost at a concluding.
Play
point.
Death
By the
Stranding
way,
2. That's what I'm gonna say. Thank you.
I
Not
agree,
asked to
but
Lavia.
also smash up the like button before you play Death Stranding 2. But in terms of things to talk about Lavia, like I don't think he had a bad performance. I don't think there's really much
What's
to
the,
say on Lavia.
no, I mean, dude,
I'll
even
be
dude.
completely honest. I'll be completely honest. I think there was only one player who was genuinely terrible. There was a couple players who were kind of meh, and then everyone else was good to great.
Yeah, and then the KDH thing. I mean,
He was the terrible player. I'll be honest. He's just
he's just out of position. I get it, but this is also why we need wingers, right?
he's
'Cause
just
we
he's
can't
just-
keep.
He's just such a he tries, like he's a trier. I'll give him that.
He tries,
He's
yeah.
just
He
such
tries.
in this system, in this team, he's such a nothing player.
He is. That's such a great way of saying it, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like that one, like I say, that one transition where Delap was
seems out of
making a run.
place,
I'm like,
man.
brother, pass it to him. He's like through on goal, and KDH like tries to pass it to the side and misses anyways. Like, nah, you're doing too much now, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that header at the back post was jokes, by the way. I don't know what is he trying to head that across goal? Is he just like mess the header up? I don't know what he's trying to do. That was the one good cross Gusto put in the whole game, and on his weak foot as well. And my man headed it back across goal, like where it came.
Gusto can't catch a break, bro.
I'm just gonna be honest, man. All this hate next season when he's shining, man, stay on that side, man.
Is it speculation?
Speculation.
That's not speculating, man.
It
That's
is.
just an
Said
opinion
next season
piece.
he's doing well. That's
That's an
speculation.
opinion piece.
There is nothing to
Speculating.
indicate that will happen. There's nothing to indicate that will happen.
Listen, that speculation means that I'm basing on something. I'm not basing this on anything. I'm just basing this. Yeah, I'm basing this just on a hypothetical
No, you can
reality that may
speculate on
exist.
complete BS.
Ah, I see now. Okay. This is the Jorginho dilemma, right? Or the Kovacic dilemma. Because he hasn't had a standout performance, he's just average. Like, the thing is, I feel you guys, I don't know if this is a social media thing or maybe we're just one of the few smart people in this fan base, but like, I feel like when we're watching certain players, we have different expectations for those players to watch. But I also feel like there's a good portion of the fan base that only see attack and defense. And so when you see a midfielder, most times they're thinking attacking stats, so goal and assist. And if Lavia doesn't get a goal and assist, he must be shit.
True.
He's got the boring job of being a 6. So all he has to do, for the most part, is maintain possession, don't lose the ball, keep it pushing, and go on. And that's the problem Jorginho had. It wasn't even a problem. That's the problem the fans had with Jorginho. Jorginho, I love Jorginho. I still do. I respect the shit out of what he did for Chelsea. One of the things he did was he kept possession and he kept the ball going. Just kept passing. Don't lose the ball. That's what Lavia does. Doesn't pass as much, but he'll progress the ball forward up the pitch and he won't lose it and he'll give a short pass to Enzo. Sometimes he'll get the line breaking pass and all that, but he's not an entertaining, unless you're watching, which me personally, I've started to learn as I've gotten older. I just have much more of an appreciation for the defensive side of the game than the offensive side of the game, which, call me Unk, I don't care. But like, bruh, I just like watching defenders do their thing. I think it's a very underrated role.
All right, granddad.
He
All right,
said,
granddad.
my man said, as a young kid, I enjoyed the wingers. Then I learned wisdom and I appreciated the CDM. I hear it, bro. That's some real shit,
bro. But I just like what, like,
it's like, no, hold up. It's like that Busquets quote, bro. You feel me? Like when you're watching him, you know. that's what Marshall just pulled out on us, bro. The words of wisdom.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, I appreciate. There was moments where I was watching Lavia and I was like, "Yo, the fact that you got out of that 3v1,
no, I know, I love
is
Lavia.
Crazy." But people see that and they're like, "Where's the goal? Where's the pass?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the most entertaining position. So like, there's not gonna be very many standout performances. Because like 9 times out of 10, what happens is those players will regain the ball and then they'll cause a counterattack, but you'll be more focused on the goal and the pass to the goal than what initially started that play. You'll forget that play. Am I wrong?
No, not entirely. I think like Lavia's been good. Like, he's had a couple of games where he's not been great. Yesterday was not one of them. Like, to be honest, the only game I can remember, like, maybe this is just me having a not great memory.
That's really good. That's what you want from him.
It's no, this isn't the only thing he offers. Defensively, he's very good. In possession, he's very good.
Yeah, only thing is such a reductive take. I'm not gonna lie.
What was I saying? Yeah, the only game I can remember that he's had that was very bad was the Tottenham game, where he got subbed off at half time.
Which game?
The Tottenham game where he came off. Didn't he come off at half time?
Yes, I thought he came.
Yeah, that's the only game I can remember where he wasn't great.
There was a game where he conceded that goal as well.
Yeah, outside of that, that's the only game I can remember where it's like where he was actually bad. Like, outside of that, I don't remember having he might have had a couple average games, but I remember him being really bad. But he's had some very good games for us, and I just don't understand this hate for him. Like, what annoys me is that, like, he gets spoken about, the way he gets spoken about in terms of the way he plays is what I said earlier in terms of like the Essugo thing with Caicedo. Like, the way Essugo played yesterday, in my opinion, in terms of just looking a bit raw, not really ready for the system, is how Lavia gets spoken about, but Lavia is much better than that.
Bro, is Essugo just going to be like catching strays all season?
No, it wasn't even a stray, but it's like, bro, like
Yeah.
he's 20, and it's like he's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
You can tell, like it's like we said earlier, he's just maybe not completely ready. He just needs more game time and whatnot. But people speak of like some of the people I've seen in our fan base speak about Caicedo and Lavia like they are that, like they are nothing but shin kickers and nothing else.
Yes. You know,
Yeah,
that
I don't-
disappoints
yeah.
me because, like, all right, whatever. I expect the Caicedo shin kickers from the rival. I don't care. But when our own fan base, like, what does Caicedo offer other than being a shin kicker? I'm like, all right, man.
That's
Some
crazy.
people just don't deserve
When
to
our
watch
own
the
fan
sport,
base
bro.
does that, that's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
I've seen
I
it.
don't know,
I've
like-
literally seen it.
Even for me, like again, for me, Jorginho wasn't anything super sensational, right? Like, we all kind of knew he had the ability to get like line breaking passes and be creative, but he never really made the most of that. Maybe because of the system, because of that. Overall, he was like, for most people, I'm sure a very boring footballer to watch. But what I appreciated about him was what you're saying, Axe, is that press resistance. Like, bro, as a midfielder, like, I feel like there's certain traits that you have to have, like either all of them or one of them, whatever. Passing ability is one of them. Ability to progress a ball forward, and the ability to maintain the ball, keep possession. Like, if you keep possession as a midfielder, bro, that's a reason you're a midfielder. Like, if you're like, let's say you're learning how to play football and you're trying to find your best position, and a coach sees like, yo, this guy can keep possession, like he doesn't lose the ball, bro, I'm probably putting you in midfield because you don't lose the ball. I need to control the midfield. I need to control the game. I'm gonna put you in midfield and then keep the ball ticking, keep it simple passes. I like Lavia for that reason. He's very press resistant. Like, he don't lose the ball, and if you don't lose the ball, that means we're keeping possession. That's very
Not
pivotal
everyone.
to possession.
Also, when people,
not-
also, by the way,
Can I
hold on,
just-
just to say this: when people say speak on Lavia, like Liverpool fans aren't saying they would still take Lavia. Like, United fans aren't saying they would still take Lavia. Is crazy to me. Like,
What were you guys gonna say?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, this idea of him only being press resistant.
I don't think he's that though, but I would say even that trait
but
itself is
but
great.
Marshall, even if he was, people underestimate how key of a skill being press resistant is. Like,
Mhm. That's what I'm saying.
look at what, like, in terms of playing against teams that press you, like that ability to always play on the half turn and within a movement take two players, which I've seen him do multiple times, two players out of the game for a turn. Cool, that's two less players you now have to deal with that you've just beaten the press. So teams that press you either can't press you with the same intensity or have to, or are going to end up with players out of position because this guy can beat the press. Look at, for example, like what Kovacic used to do. In terms of, he was so
I
press
appreciate
resistant,
the
you get
fuck
past
out
players.
of Kovacic.
Even Jorginho as well was really press resistant, like especially that 2021 year.
Bro, UCL Jorginho,
It's
you
unreal.
couldn't get the ball
And
off him. He was ridiculous.
all it does is create space for everyone else. Like,
Yep.
so yeah, this like, even if he was just press resistant, which is nonsense, but even if he was just press resistant, no one else in the entire squad has the press resistance of Lavia. No one. No, Caicedo doesn't, and
This
I love
is true.
Caicedo. Enzo
Yeah,
doesn't,
this is true.
and like Enzo's a great player. He does not have that same press resistance. Santos doesn't. Essugo doesn't. No one in midfield. Palmer doesn't. Actually, no. Palmer when he's on it does, but current Palmer is not.
What I will say though on Lavia, just to not make this a complete glaze sesh, right? Like, I do think the player is really great, and I'm happy with what I'm seeing with the price. What I'm not happy about is obviously the injuries. We don't need to discuss that.
That's not his fault.
Poch and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that. The one thing I will say in terms of criticism towards Lavia is you know your press resistance. You can get yourself out of these 3v1, 2v1 situations, or if you have a player on your back, you can twist them and turn them and you have all the space, right? What I want to see more from Lavia is those Enzo passes. Not as good as Enzo, but those threaded balls through the midfields that we know he can do, that he just doesn't do enough of, whether it be because of instruction or maybe it's a confidence thing, or I don't know. But that's a trait that I know he's capable of doing that I don't see enough, that disappoints me, because I know that's like a really, really good skill to add to his arsenal. And I think he knows that too. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I think he can definitely give us more line breaking passes like he used to. We've seen him do it. I mean, in preseason and all that. I think even towards the end of last season he did.
I just think for me,
I think
people are trying
he'll
to
get it, bro.
people are just trying to, you know, people want people to play like they're like Pirlo, not understanding that Pirlo is a one-on-one guy, bro. You're not gonna get DMs that can do everything every single time. I think the other problem is also like we live in a universe because of like Rodri having that kind of like a bit of a clutch gene and being able to score. Like people are now like expecting the DMs to score, the DMs to assist, the DMs to hold the play, control the play, do every single thing. That is not that might work in one system.
Rodri's not an entertaining player to watch,
but that's not consistently something that happens consistently. A good example I can use Sergio Busquets, for example. Sergio Busquets was good at making tackles and just making the passes whenever that needed to happen. Just passing the guy that was next to him, helping the team, helping the team.
Bro, I hear it.
That's it. You don't need. I think sometimes, bro, we overdo something, right? Like we overdo stuff, bro. We try to make everything. Try to make the guy that's gonna do everything, like make everything happen. Does that make sense, Marshall? Like we want them to do every single thing. It's not. That's not always possible, bro. It's not always possible. People have certain skill sets. Let us utilize those certain skill sets. Let's not try to like, you know,
building a team is about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, and I get it. Like I just know that the player has the ability, because that's the one thing that it's not a coincidence that when Lavia came back into the team, our form improved, and that's just because of how important of a player he is. But at the same time, in that same notion, it's not a coincidence that when Lavia and Caicedo are in the midfield and Enzo is not, we do lack that creative spark, which I don't want to have to always have Enzo on the pitch to have it. Mostly because I also do know Enzo can be a defensive liability. Go ahead, Scott.
Do you know what I think that is? And I think you sort like, I don't know if we noticed it as much. I don't remember, to be completely honest. Like my memory's not amazing, but you saw it in that LAFC game. The reason why we lost creativity wasn't just because, like, not necessarily because Enzo wasn't playing. It was the positioning. Like you had Caicedo and Lavia literally on the same like if you were to put lines on the pitch, they were on the same line the whole game. Neither one of them pushed up. So that was the issue. It wasn't the fact of like, because I know RSM will probably agree with this. I think Caicedo could 100% do the job that Enzo does. Maybe not in terms of the long passes and whatnot, but in terms of the box crashing, in terms of like
low key, like no, I think the one thing Caicedo can't do is the box crashing, but he could do the long passes that Enzo can. He does it for Ecuador all the time. He's the one who's,
I was gonna say, like,
who's dictating play. He could do everything.
When he came into
can do everything but box crash.
So the season before we bought him, so like when he was playing for Brighton, that's what he was doing. Like there were times I think he was playing with Bissouma, I think at times, and he was the one that was further up the pitch, and Bissouma was the one like the defensive midfielder in that pairing. And like RSM said, for Ecuador, he's the one that pushes up because it's Mendes. Well, I don't know if Mendes still plays, but when I watched him in the World Cup, it was Mendes that was doing the DM stuff, and Caicedo was the one pushing up. So Caicedo can do that, but for some reason, this is where I think it's more of a system and a Moresca issue of like he just had both of them like sitting next to each other. Like if Lavia's in the team, give Caicedo freedom to go forward, or give Lavia freedom to go forward. Give one of them the freedom to go forward and get into that space Enzo gets. I think that's the issue rather than that. He's not as creative as Enzo.
Yeah, I really hope as the season goes on, like these players. I don't want to say the players improve. I feel like that's not the right vocabulary. I think I want to see these players express themselves a little more as the season goes on. I do feel like
next season, I would hope to see, obviously not 1-to-1, but kind of what happened with PSG, right? Like one of the things that you see Vitinha say, right? Like, first season, we didn't even really, like we were very rigid. But then once we understood the position of everybody in the team, we just swap whenever and as the game dictates, and we're able to do that. So hopefully, we're able to see a bit more of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I hope, because I'd be lying if I didn't say that sometimes the football Moresca, especially towards the latter half, sometimes the football was absolutely stale, and I do think we got away with some wins, right? I do hope that this upcoming season, when these players are more comfortable with the system and all that, hopefully the likes of Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo's already doing it, right? But I hope the likes of Lavia, Caicedo are going to be able to express themselves a little bit more, especially in the attacking half, because I think in terms of the system, like people are saying they don't understand the system, and I was really baffled by that, because it's like the system makes pretty good sense to me. Like Enzo just constantly wants to have 5 attackers at a time when he have possession, and then when we don't have possession, we're defending the 4 in the back, like a 5 in the box kind of thing, kind of like what Tuchel did in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple to understand. Like when we were attacking yesterday, at times it seemed like we were like a 4-2-4, right? Where you had Liam and Nkunku as the 2 strikers with KDH and Madueke kind of on like these right midfield, left midfield positions, holding the width the whole time. But you had the 2 in the middle, just the 1-2 strikers. So it makes sense to me. But like if we're gonna be attacking like that, I do want to see some of these midfielders maybe like have the liberty to express themselves a little bit. And like I said,
I'd say when it comes to the midfield, that's the to my knowledge, and maybe I've said otherwise, I can't remember again. But that's probably the only real disappointment I have in Moresca in terms of the system is, and this is mainly from looking at Caicedo, it's just the lack of freedom that Caicedo's had at times. Because I think, like, I don't know, RSM will feel the same in terms of, and we just spoke about, he can do more. He can 100% do way more than we've seen. And so that's probably the only thing that's been annoying in terms of we just haven't been able to see that anywhere near as much.
No. Yeah. And that's one thing I'll say is the issue why, and I really do believe this, is really down to the fact that he does not trust the back line, especially at the beginning of the season. He did not trust that back line whatsoever, bro. Like, Caicedo had to be there to hold their hand and put out all the fires.
Yeah, and it's understandable. I mean, now I hope with Levi improving the way he is, Tosin looking a little bit more consistent in his performance. I'll even say it. I'll hold my hands up. Even Chalobah has been looking better, and I hope it's not a repeat. Like, I hope Chalobah isn't just like a spring summer kind of player, and then he just stagnates in winters and fall. Like, I hope he's not one of those players, but I hope he also continues to improve. And I think, I guess one more player I meant to bring up is, how do we feel about Benoit? Because I know yesterday it's against Tunis. I think he got hard done by with the ref calling fouls on some of the fouls he got played that were called against him. Sorry. I do feel that like he's got these on and off performances, but part of me thinks he's starting to gain confidence again. And with that confidence, maybe we see inklings of the player we signed in under Potter, where he's just more calm, physically imposing, just being able to get good tackle in there. I don't know. Where do you guys stand with Badiashile?
I think he was good.
It is Tunis, by the way. I understand that, ladies.
100%. Yeah, he wasn't really tested, but I also think with what he had to do, if he was good, I think my position with Badiashile was always going to be the same in terms of I don't think he's ever going to get to the level he was at under Potter. Like, I just don't. Like, I think mentally, I don't think he's there, and I don't think he will get back there, because that's what it is. It's not ability. Like, he hasn't lost ability. He hasn't got worse at defending. He hasn't got worse at.
He hasn't
got worse
injury,
at.
like his knee blew up either, bro. Like,
yeah. It's just all mental, and that's all I think it is. I think he's a perfectly good backup. Like, he's never going to be the number one in this team. I think we have like, I've accepted that, but I think we as a fan base need to accept that he's never going to be the number one. He's perfectly fine as a backup. Like, unless you're going to go and get someone like, I don't know, Branthwaite or something, and he probably starts for us, but someone like that who's going to be backup instead for Colwell.
I don't know about that.
But
no,
yeah, he's a perfectly fine backup.
Yeah, as a backup, I'm okay. It's not a bad shout. He's just, as long as you don't cost me games, because there have been times where you cost us games. Like the one that comes to mind is obviously the Newcastle Carabao Cup, like disaster.
Do you know where I kind of? Sorry to mention, Marshall. One other point on Badiashile. I was just thinking about this. For me, I think it's a good thing with him in terms of, if I'm looking at like the top, I say top 10, we've got about 15 players. Yeah, if I look at the top 10, 15 players we need to sell, he doesn't make that list, which is probably good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
actually.
there was a
Yeah.
report that even said like Chelsea aren't like they're open to sell him, but they aren't putting him on the market like they were before.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, he's not like a priority sell, but if a good offer comes from him, then so be it, you know? And yeah, I think, listen, no disrespect to Servette. I do think Tunis is a better team. There's a reason Tunis is in this tournament. They won like, you know, their Champions League or whatever there is, or I don't know. They did something pretty good in their own league to get to this point. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say Botafogo is a better team than PSG, but on that day, Botafogo played better than PSG. Sometimes you just have days like that. So it doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, I know Auckland was in that, obviously. I get it, but also there's a certain situation with the Oceania League or something like that. It's just not as well developed or something like that. Like, I don't know. It doesn't pay well. These guys are like, it's a side hustle for them to play football and such. Like, there's so many situations. Like that league is. I think it was also what the Australian teams they went and played in the Asian League as well. So Oceania's league has suffered as a result of it in terms of quality. So there's a bunch of factors, man. Like, it is what it is. Can't rely on him letting it up. Sar's very young. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with Sar. All right. That being said, I mean, anything else that we need to bring up, guys, that I may have forgotten to talk about? Oh, we should probably talk about the next game, Benfica on Saturday. We're in here. How are we feeling about that? Because I'm confident. I think we could beat Benfica. It'll be tricky, but I think we can do it.
I think we can. We just gotta. I think our strongest team should be able to beat Benfica. I'm not really worried about that, to be honest.
Yeah. Benfica, I mean, from what I've seen so far, they didn't really look that great when they went up against Boca. The occasion got to them, Boca got to their heads, and yeah, they struggled against a not so great Boca side that is now eliminated as well.
The worst Boca of my lifetime, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they got scored on, by the way. I don't know if I said this, but bro, they got scored on by a literal I think the goal was from a teacher and the assist was from a barber, bro.
Yeah, the goal scorer was a teacher.
Yeah, and the assister was a barber, bro. Like, they're
Bro, how did they draw that game? I thought they won because I saw they'd gone 2-1 up. It must have been called back for offside. How the hell did they?
Who? Boca?
Yeah.
Nah, they didn't. They just straight lost that, bro. It was nasty work.
No, they drew.
Oh no, yeah, they drew. But you know, it was not good. And the draw, by the way, was an own goal. Just to be clear.
Oh yeah, the goal they scored was an own goal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, it's bad, bro. Like I said, worst Boca of my lifetime. Like, really, bar none.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
But
I'd say what I'm looking forward to. I hopefully we beat Benfica. That whoever we face in this quarterfinal will be interesting because watching, I didn't see really much of Botafogo. In fact, I don't think I watched a single one of their games. No, I don't think I did.
They're very sound.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of their games. But watching Palmeiras, they're a good team, but they can be got out defensively. Like, they can 100% be got out defensively. I watched the way that like Suarez and whatnot at 37 or whatever he is was getting past there. Bro, he still got it, by the way. His legs are finished, but footballing ability never leaves you, bro. His footballing ability.
His ball striking is still there, bro. It's just like his legs don't keep up anymore for the play.
It's crazy, but yeah,
he runs
his legs
towards the
don't keep
plays.
up with his.
He just
His
don't
legs
got
don't
it
keep
no
up with his brain anymore. But yeah, like but going forward, they're good. Like, not just Esteval, but like their forward line is actually good. Like, in terms of linking up play, that Alan guy that came into midfield was very good when he came on. That Mateus guy who got the second goal was good. Victor Roque is hot garbage now. I don't know what's bro. That Barca move cooked him.
No, that Barca move finished him. Like, that Barca move actually killed his career. I feel so bad for him, bro.
But yeah, just got to go into that game just prepared. Like, don't treat it the same way we treated that Flamengo game.
Oh no!
Go at
Benfica.
Stupid. No.
I'm like
funny business. No.
No, I'm talking about the.
If we get.
Yeah, if we get past
you're already thinking about the next part.
Oh no, I think we win. I think we win, but like when it comes to Benfica,
Okay.
I haven't really watched any games outside of the Outside of the Boca game, I didn't watch any of their other games, and because I'm not being funny, I wasn't watching them against Auckland.
I mean, they beat Bayern.
They did, but I just didn't watch the game. But
Yeah.
Watching that Boca game, they are defensively frail. Or from what I saw, they were getting caught defensively. It's just like the one thing we have to watch on. I don't know if you guys mentioned this when I went away from it. Set pieces, just defend set pieces properly, and we might be all right. But yeah, so I can't really speak much on them. But the Palmeiras, or Botafogo, whoever it is, just treat them with respect, but not too much respect.
I mean, treat them as a quarterfinalists that they are. They got to the quarterfinal, bro.
Yeah, no, these Brazilian teams have been really impressive this tournament. Like, never again. Like, this is why I like this tournament a lot. Now I don't have to ask questions about or assume that the quality in Europe is automatically better than the quality in South America or at CONCACAF or so on and so forth. This tournament shows some teams are pretty good.
But I'll be real. Like, this tournament should have done that. Like, I'd say the only regions teams that have not stepped up is Africa.
Yeah,
the African teams are probably the only ones.
Even then, I'll actually put up. This is why.
Outside of apologies. I keep forgetting they're Egyptian. Outside of Al Ali, like Wydad and Al Ain Al Ain's Middle East, but still. And what's it called? Actually, no, I tell a lie. Mamelodi Sundowns have, based on the stats I saw from the game, they dominated Fluminense today. Based on the stats, I didn't watch the game.
Fluminense is not insanely good, but they're not just gonna lie over and die either.
I think, to be fair, actually, now that I think about it, pretty much just Tunis and Wydad are the only two African teams that haven't really done anything, haven't really turned up at all.
At the same time, though, Scott, you understand, the majority of this chat, the majority of the people on Twitter, myself included, and I can't even really include myself. I have sat down and watched Libertadores games, and that's what I grew up on. I have seen these teams growing up. A lot of people don't really watch MLS like you do, or South American Libertadores or Sudamerica like I have, or RSM does, or maybe you do as well, Scott. That's why I told them Boca's dead. Look at that. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. They got 2 points. Coincidentally, Advíncula is playing left back or right back, and they happen to be dead. I don't like that, but that's beside the point.
That's literally not on him though. He's one of their better players.
I know.
Yeah, but it's what you said, Marco. And you talk about the MLS, for example. LAFC hung with us. They were better than Tunis for a half. They just second half they capitulated. Capitulated.
And they scored against PSG and then immediately drew. It's
no, not them. Shame. That's a different thing, bro. But yeah, LAFC didn't.
Flamengo. Sorry.
Yeah, they drew against Flamengo. Or was it lost? No, they drew.
They ended up drawing. It was 1-1.
But yeah, so they held their own in this tournament. They held their own against us until right at the end when our just quality shone through. If they had better forwards, I'll be real. If Boanga just turned up in either of the games he played before that Flamengo game, they probably beat Tunis and at least score against us. Seattle as well. Yeah. Held their own against PSG, held their own against Botafogo. Were the better team against Botafogo until they just again capitulated and shot themselves in the foot. It was only really Atletico Madrid where they got kind of blown out. And then Inter Miami battered Porto, embarrassed Porto. Were the better team against Palmeiras up until they decided to just defend in their lap, in the goalkeeper's lap for the last half an hour. And then
I swear, Pepe died. Pepe's death in football was in vain. Pepe literally was the Porto defense. Now that he's gone, bro, I'm looking at this Porto team and I'm thinking no fucking shit. Gyökeres scored so many goals, bro. What are we doing, bro?
Good, bro.
Al Ahly scored 4 goals in your head top,
bro. Samu as well, bro. That guy is Lukaku 2.0. If he don't get service, he's doing nothing.
I saw a couple, bro. That one header that he missed by the way, was absolutely criminal as well. There's no forgiving.
Bro, because I watched him play. I watched him in that Inter Miami game, bro. He got this one chance where he somehow gets a touch past the defender on the volley, puts it into row Z. He was getting nothing, no service that game. Did nothing. Scammed the penalty.
I'm just saying, man, this is only giving me more ammunition against a potential Gyökeres to the Premier League. I'm just saying, man, I don't know. Something about this guy, bro. It's just, Watching Porto too. I think Porto's been the most disappointing team in this whole Club World Cup. Pretty sure they have 1 point in the whole entire tournament. It's just
they've definitely been the most disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like against Benfica, I'm feeling confident. I think we can do pretty well. Like obviously, you got to be careful with Di Maria. He's still a good player, even though he's not at the peak Di Maria levels. But he can still at any moment, just get you off guard and just give you those moments of brilliance. But I think we can do something. I think we'll be fine. We got to play our best team, obviously. And with Liam Delap starting too as well and having a striker. Atletico as well. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Atletico have been a bit disappointing as well.
I don't think they were that disappointing. Like, they lost to PSG, which most people expected.
It was a really tough group.
They should have drawn. They probably should have drawn that game. I think the only reason why we're saying Atletico's disappointing is because they didn't go through, but that was because Botafogo did a madness. Like, it wasn't because Atletico didn't do their job. Yeah, like Atletico Madrid beat the two teams they were expected to beat. They lost to the team they were expected to lose to. It's just Botafogo beat PSG. That's the only reason why Atletico aren't going through. Yeah. Like, so I don't think they disappointed themselves. Well, outside of Sorloth not finishing from 2 yards out.
That guy's been criminal this tournament. I ain't gonna lie. That guy may be flop of the tournament. Can't think of another one. I'll probably think of another one. But yeah, against Benfica, I guess predictions. I'm gonna go with 2-1 Chelsea.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll say 2-1. 2-1 or 3-1 actually. Her defense is nothing to write home about, bro. I'm be so real.
Okay, fair enough. 3-1 Chelsea for RSM, 2-1 Chelsea for me and Scott. All right, cool. That's the show. That's the review of the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and all the conversations we had. We had some pretty in-depth conversations on a lot of positions, including Lavia and Madueke. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. We'll be back again tomorrow for a Casually Chelsea show. Just got to work on that and get that going. So probably going to spend tonight doing that. But yeah, check that out tomorrow. We will also be obviously reacting to the game on Saturday. I will not be going to that. Maybe
Bro,
I'll go to
I
the
can't lie to you. Sorry to interrupt, Marshall. These games on the weekend are looking unreal. By the way, I'm so glad we're playing at the weekend. Like, just these 4 games on Saturday and Sunday are nuts, bro.
I'm telling you guys right now, Botafogo Palmeiras is going to be a crazy game.
Bro,
People
just
might
better than the league game, man. That was 0-0. I was dead. Well, I assume it was dead. Unless someone watched. I didn't watch it. I just found out it was 0-0. I want more goals. Palmeiras and Botafogo, when they played each other in the league, it was 0-0. I don't know if the game was like if it was a good 0-0, but it was 0-0. So just hopefully more goals.
Oh, I should mention this too.
Hang on,
go ahead, Scott, finish what you're saying.
Wait, where is Palmeiras and Botafogo? Where are they playing now?
That's a good point, actually.
Bro, that's at like 10 in the morning, isn't it? Oh, no, sorry, 12. No, it's a 12 p.m. kickoff. I can't even.
I'm checking it right now.
Oh, it's in Philly, yeah. So that's like either a 12 or an 11 o'clock.
It's in Philly.
Kickoff.
There will be turnout. There are Brazilians over there, for sure.
But yeah, that's gonna be good. Then you got our game. Then you got PSG into Miami on the Sunday, and then Flamengo Bayern on the Sunday evening.
Yeah, good stuff.
Inter Plate tonight. That's gonna be fun to watch.
I wanted to know United.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's gonna be great, bro.
I'm looking forward to that one. But all right, ladies and gents, like we said, all right, Das. Smash up the like button if you haven't done so already.
Don't your soft baby hands have to go like play softball or some shit, bro? How about you go focus on that, yeah? Go drink your little matcha latte and go play your little softball. You know, get some lotion on them hands.
I said your soft hands, bro.
Bro, he playing softball, bro. Like not even baseball, brother. He's playing softball. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Go focus on that.
So smash up the like button, ladies and gents. help out the channel in growing with the YouTube algorithm. Helps us out tremendously. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Helps us out tremendously with getting to our 5K subscriber goal. Be sure to check out the links in the description for more content. RSM is only, what, 10 subscribers away from 1K?
Yeah.
Yo, guys, let's not slack on that, all right? Don't be like our directors and slacking in negotiations. Go over to RSM's channel. It's in the description. Click on that link, subscribe on that channel, and help him get to 10K. He's always helping us out here on the show. And, dude, he's always doing watch-alongs. So go ahead and show him some love over there. Be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed today. And check out the memberships. There's 4 different tiers, not 5, sorry. 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And as you guys who are regulars here already know, what we like to do is give shout outs at the end of every show to those who are at the proper casual tier and higher. And those shout outs are going to go to Daniel, TM127, EE, Dark, Adrian, and A Solomon. Big up to you guys for your support. Like I said before, check out the stream tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Chelsea news and all that fun stuff. Maybe there's a Here We Go with Gittins. I don't want to speculate. But be sure to check that out. Be sure to also check out the stream on Saturday and when we react to the game. But yeah, up to Chelsea. Check out the vlog from yesterday's match as well. It's in somewhere in my YouTube channel. I don't know where. I'll put it somewhere. And yeah, guys, oh yeah, I forgot. We're rating someone. So here's the raid message. We're rating Sarcasm City, who's currently up. So go ahead, copy and paste the raid message. Let them know where you're coming from. And we will see you very soon, ladies and gents, for another one. As always, have a wonderful night. Up to Chelsea. Stay casual. Peace.
Peace.